Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good things. And we're not joined today by Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, as you know, is moving, so he had to do his final walkthrough with his old landlords at his old house today. Don't worry, Rob will be back tomorrow. But fortunately, thank God for the rest of us.
Yeah.
That joining us today in this room and with you guys in the live chat is Ray Ora. Ray, how you doing?
Hey, I just saw the newest episode of Halo.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
And I must say, I'm on board, baby.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
But I will say the show is king of the cliffhangers. If you're going to cliffhanger me one more time, I'm not staying up for it no more. But this cliffhanger on this one is pretty good.
Aren't episodes supposed to have cliffhangers?
Yeah, but man, sometimes you just want it to just go.
Finish the season right now.
No, not finish the season, but get to the music in this last episode towards the end was pretty good too. There's a lot of storylines going on. Hardcore fans of the game will hate it, but I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm glad to hear that because, like, after episode 2, you're like, I remember you liked episode 1, and after episode 2, you're like, okay, let's see how episode 3 is. That'll determine how on board I'm going to be with it. I'm glad to hear you like
this. Episode 3 explained every path the show is going, and I want to see the ending of each path. There's a couple paths. There's a couple like conflicts in there that I'm really excited to see pan out, especially with Master Chief. I won't say anything else, but yeah, it was a decent episode.
All right, well, I'm going to have to watch that after I see Sonic today. And speaking of Sonic, Chris Carr saw it last night.
I did.
And we've got, now, she recorded a right out of the theater reaction. And I was going to post it, but I'm seeing it at 3 o'clock today. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to record my right out of the theater reaction, and then I'm going to edit Chris's in with it. And we're going to put that up as one big out of the theater reaction for Sonic. I did see a Dumbledore. Yeah, I saw the Secrets of Dumbledore last night. Ray's got something in his head.
I know. I just saw that you put still Rob, Frozen Rob is in the house.
Oh, that's the greatest.
I love that.
What do you mean? He's actually here with us in spirit. He stunned you like Halo episode 3 so much. He's just completely stunned. Saw Secrets of Dumbledore last night. I put up my right out of theater reaction, mine and Anne's right out of theater reaction last night. It's a good little movie. I enjoyed it. Anne loved it.
She was so hyped in that video.
She was so happy. Like, I turned to her, like, honestly, I didn't know whether she was liking it or not. Movie ends, credits roll, and I turned to her and I said, I liked it. And she said, you could tell, you know when somebody speaks when they're trying not to cry? So I said, I liked it. What do you think? She's like, I loved it. She was so happy. She loved the film. I thought it was quite good. I thought it was quite good. I will say this, though. They did a Q&A with the cast for these screenings last night. They were pretty much all there.
Who wasn't, John?
I'm glad that you asked.
I can only imagine.
Kel Supri, Ezra Miller was not a part of the Q&A for promoting Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore. But I'll tell you what, I liked it, and I'll give a review of it next week. I'll do a proper review of it next week. But if you want to see our quick out of the theater reaction with mine and Anne, see that, and then a little bit later today, you can see mine and Chris's right out of the theater reaction for Sonic 3. Okay. With that down, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Don't forget, guys, if you love your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't always be in front of a YouTube video, and you're just like, if this was only in audio form, in podcast form, I could listen to it while I'm jogging or commuting or whatever. Good news, there is a podcast form of this show, an audio-only version simply called the John Campea Show podcast. It's just this show, but only in audio form, and you can go and find it on your favorite podcasting app of choice. We also have 2 other podcast feeds. We have a separate podcast feed for Movie Club. We just did our latest installment of Movie Club talking about the 1986, maybe one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, one of the greatest action films of all time, Aliens. So that's on there. We've done 9 episodes now, I think, of Movie Club.
Oh,
so
dang.
go and find Movie Club, a John Campea Show podcast, and subscribe to that. Also, we now have a separate podcast feed for Mailbag. Mailbag now has its own podcast feed. So just search for Mailbag, John Campea podcast, whatever. You can go and find it. Go and subscribe to that. So now you got 3 separate podcast feeds for all your John Campea Network goodness. Go and subscribe to that stuff today. All right. Here's how today's show is going to go, guys. We're going to break it up into 2 parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to take some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you'd like to get a comment or question on the show, simply go into the YouTube chat there if you're watching live, and only if you're watching live, and send in a super chat. I am turning on the super chats in 3, 2, 1. Boom, the super chats are now turned on. They will be on now for the next 5 to 10 minutes until we reach full capacity in all the super chats. And then we will read off those super chats once we get to the end of our main topics. Okay, guys, with that down, let's get into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here on the John Campea Show? It's really simple. You guys come up with our main topics. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from Weston M. Greetings, John and crew. So the Academy was originally going to meet to decide what disciplinary actions they were going to take against Will Smith for the Oscars incident on April 18th. But it looks like they decided they needed to move faster and have moved up that meeting to this Friday, April 8th. Do you think this is a good move, or are they rushing things? And what do you think the outcome will be of that meeting?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And so those of you who may know, this is just kind of an addendum to the bigger story that's been going on with Will Smith and everything. The Academy was going to meet to decide what they were going to do about Will Smith, jumping on stage and assaulting Chris Rock, what they're going to do on April 18th. However, part of the reason they set April 18th as that date was because there are some legal timeframes you have to follow, giving people a chance to respond to disciplinary hearings and all that kind of stuff. But with Will Smith having submitted his resignation to the Academy, that means those timeframes are no longer legally required. And the Academy has decided we're going to move ahead and get this thing done with sooner rather than later. This comes to us from the folks over at the Academy, their president, David Rubin, who said the following. Following Mr. Smith's resignation of his Academy membership on Friday, April 1st, suspension or expulsion are no longer a possibility, and the legally prescribed timetables are no longer applies. It is in the best interest of all involved for this to be handled in a timely fashion. And that, once again, comes from the Academy president, David Rubin. So, in response to all this, they're now going to meet tomorrow to decide on what they're going to do about Will Smith. Obviously, they don't have to worry about kicking him out of the Academy anymore because he's out. But other things are still on the docket. Could they suspend him from eligibility for 2 to 3 years, where no matter how good a movie or a performance of his is in the next couple of years, say, sorry, you're not eligible to be nominated for an Academy Award? Could it be a lifetime ban? Could they find other sort of things to do? Don't know. Now, in the question you ask, should they have moved up this timetable? Like, are they rushing things? I was perfectly fine with the April 18th date, to be honest with you, because it's like, you want to gather all the pertinent information. You want to make sure you're not rushing anything. But at this point, you know everything you need to know.
Yeah.
You've seen it. And honestly, I am more than happy to not drag this out for another 10 days. Like, if everybody already knows what they feel about it, if the Academy already has a sense of what they're going to do, just have the meeting tomorrow, get it over with, get it done, so everybody, including Will Smith, can now move forward and figure out how to navigate what's ahead. So, I don't think this is rushing. I think this is a great move on their part. You don't hear me say that often about the Academy board lately. Great move on the Academy. Those aren't words that come out of my mouth very much lately, but I would give them kudos for this. Moving it up 10 days. Let's just put this to bed, move forward, because, there's still more things to happen. Even once the Academy settles it, then SAG has to decide what they're going to do. But for the most part, this is the main thing that needs to happen. Let's get it in our rearview mirror. I like this. Anyway, Chris, you hear that they're going to move forward and try to get this all done now. What do you think about the decision?
I think this is great because the 18th felt like they were dragging their heels. It really, really felt like they were prolonging this, and we don't need to keep dwelling on this. We need to move forward. We need some other topics. We need to move forward on this. And, Will Smith has already said that he is more than willing to accept whatever decision the Academy makes. He wants this to be settled. All the members of the Academy want this to be settled. There's no point in doing another 10-day waiting period because what's going to change in that time? Are they just going to be running over the footage constantly? Are they all going to just be debating about semantics? Everyone already knows how they feel about this in the Academy, I think. So I'm really glad they're moving it up so we can all just put this in the past and move forward and focus on, frankly, more interesting things within the Academy that they can deal with. Let's talk about their lovely museum.
Yeah, they're a lovely, fantastic museum,
Yeah.
by the way. Okay, so this does bring up the question, though, because he raises, the Academy president raises an interesting point when he says that it's in all of our best interests to move forward, but on the table is no longer, do we suspend his membership to the Academy or do we expel him from the Academy? Because he's already done that. So that raises the question, well, what is there left that they can do? Now, obviously, one of the things on the table, we already mentioned it, is an eligibility suspension.
Yes.
To say that, you know what, you are no longer in good standing with the filmmaking community, and by all means, go and do your trade, but we will not consider any of your work for the next year, 3 years, 5 years, lifetime suspension. But then it raises the other question, is that the only thing they have available to them as a disciplinary action? Because honestly, I don't know. I don't know what else they have in their, quiver, what arrow they have in their quiver left other than an eligibility suspension. You can't take away his membership because that's gone already. You can say you're not eligible for the Oscars. I don't even know if they can legally fine him. I'm no longer a member of your committee. You can't fine me. You can say, we fine you $1 billion. That's great. I still don't have to give that to you. So you can't fine them. So, Chris, can you think of somebody who's, in SAG and all that kind of stuff, other than an eligibility suspension, can you think of any other possible disciplinary actions they could take with him at that point? Because that's the only one I see right now.
I mean, on the SAG side of things, they absolutely could revoke his membership or suspend his membership for a while.
On the SAG side.
Just because of some of the things within the SAG guidelines of presenting yourself as a public persona. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I truly, truly don't. When it comes to the Academy themselves, I'm with you. I think the only thing they really can do at this point is say, we're not nominating you, or you're not eligible to be nominated for a certain amount of time. I don't see them doing that for more than a year, though, with this, honestly, at this point, especially after Smith went ahead and recused himself from the Academy. I really, really think now it's just they're going to do something so they can publicly say, hey, we did something. See, we did a thing. We took action. A week later.
So you think it's going to be pretty light?
I really
so
do.
You're thinking the 1 year thing. I'm going to guess 3.
Yeah.
Some people have been throwing out their lifetime ban and stuff like that. I have a feeling with Will Smith coming out and saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and resign, and I fully accept whatever other consequences the Academy wants to throw at me. I think that's going to mitigate them. I don't think they're going to do a lifetime ban, but I think it's going to be, I personally think it's going to be more than 1 year. I think they're going to make it 3, but could be 1, could be 3. We'll see what happens. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? The Academy is thankfully going to be moving up with their hearing date to tomorrow to settle this Will Smith situation. What do you think the outcome of it is going to be? Do you think they're going to suspend his eligibility? Do you think there's other things they could do other than suspending his eligibility? What do you think is going to happen there? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2, shall we? Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Battle for the Ages. It comes from He Who Knocks. Greetings and salutations. This is shaping up to be a great weekend. I have my ticket to see 3 movies for the next few days.
Nice.
And I totally can't remember the last time I did that. So my question is, out of the 3 big new films this weekend that I'm seeing, Ambulance, Sonic, and Everything Everywhere, Which one is going to take the box office crown this weekend? Thanks.
All right, thanks for sending that in. And you know what? One of the things that we've been really excited about around here is that we talked about this when we did our April preview, talking about all the movies coming out in April, is that this is the first month that feels like a normal movie month again.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I mean, like we're living in the pandemic recovery era right now, and we've had a number of really good films come out, but this April is the first time that we feel like every week we've got movies, and multiple movies coming out that we're looking forward to seeing. Okay, so what's going to win the big box office this weekend? We got Everything Everywhere All at Once. We got Sonic 2. We got Ambulance. I have not seen Sonic 2, but I have seen Ambulance and I have seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I know this wasn't your question, but I tell you what the best movie you could see this weekend is, and that is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, I know this is a little looking, kind of indie appearing kind of film, and it's not going to get big audiences. It's not. But I am telling you, it is the best movie you've seen in a long time. Go see Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is so freaking good. Make sure you're doing that. But that's not their question. Their question is, what's going to win the box office? All right. To me, that's an easy answer. It's Sonic. Sonic is not only clearly going to win it, it is easily going to win it. And, you know, I told Rob a few days ago, I said, I can see it. It'll double what Ambulance does. I just do not sense a big swell of enthusiasm for another Michael Bay film right now. I just don't feel it. And I saw Ambulance, and I don't think it's all that great. Some great car chases, but that gets tired after a while. The dialogue is abysmal. The plot made no sense in several different places. I should point out, it's got a pretty decent Rotten Tomatoes rating. Last time I checked, it was at 70%. It might be down at 69 or 68 now, whatever. But it's the majority of critics like it, and there's definitely things to like in it. But I think it's easily going to be Sonic. So this morning, as I was getting ready for us to do the show today, I thought, well, let me look up what the official projections are. And the projections don't look good for Everything Everywhere All at Once or for Ambulance, because the projections are thus. Sonic right now, they are projecting, is going to pull in somewhere between $60 and $75 million.
Yeah.
The box office is back, baby. If this thing can even get like anything over 50, I think is a glorious triumph for this thing. But they're projecting right now that Sonic is going to make somewhere between 60 and 75 million. I know you saw it last night, Chris. Ray and I are going to go see it today. Ambulance, 9.5 to 14 million is what they're projecting. Now, with the positive reviews, and the majority of the reviews are positive, that could adjust up. I mean, that could cross 15. That could come in somewhere between 15 and 20. But right now, those projections are saying $9.5 to $14 million. And while it could come in over that, I won't be surprised if it falls right in that range, $9.5 to $14 million. So Sonic Blue Furry Hand is actually absolutely going to smack Michael Bay's ass this weekend, like all over the place. And then the best movie of the weekend is, unfortunately, because it looks so trippy and so weird and whatever, but Everything Everywhere All at Once is projected to come in at $5 to $7.5 million, which is, it deserves better, but not surprised at all.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all that's going to come in there. So, Chris, you're taking a look at these numbers. Sonic, Ambulance, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Where's your guess that these three are going to fall in? I'm going to guess you're going to predict that Sonic will win the weekend.
Yeah.
But where right now is your projection on how much it could make, as well as Ambulance and Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I really, really think that Sonic is going to just kind of blow things out of the water this weekend. And I will say, right now, it does have a lower Rotten Tomatoes score than Ambulance. It's down by a point, and I want to be
What's
fair,
Ambulance
y'all.
at right now?
67, and Sonic's at 66.
All right.
And the Sonic thing we talked about off camera, I think that's why it has such a low score. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but there's just a certain plot line that I went, we don't need this at all. Why is this here?
Right.
So I think that's what's dragging it down, because everything else sings in that movie for me. But I think Sonic's going to do so well because we've talked about before, you've got the nostalgia factor for gamers. Anyone who loves Sonic is going to go see this. My theater, everyone there was freaking out about different things. And you've also got families. This is a great family film that you can go with your whole gaggle of kids with. And I think that's what's really going to cinch it. I'm hoping that Everything Everywhere All at Once does better because of how many people are talking about it and singing its praises. I really want this to just be like the little indie that could and just see it really, really catapult, because having numbers that low compared to Ambulance does make me a little sad.
Well, I mean, at the same time, like Ambulance is
blockbuster.
Michael Bay,
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I mean, it's so this big star power. Not surprised there at all.
Yeah,
And
Michelle,
really-
yeah.
I know, but here's one of the sad realities is that if you say Michelle Yeoh to a lot of people, they don't know who she is.
I know.
They'll look at her face and go, "Oh, I know her. What's she from again?" But her name, the opposite of Will Smith. Put her name in your effing mouth. You put Michelle Yeoh's name in your effing mouth. Put it in there.
I'm interested to see what they are seeing this weekend. Do you think we could do a poll or something?
Okay, yeah, I like that. Right now.
And if you got multiple tickets, let's say you guys are watching Sonic and Ambulance, just put what you are first seeing or what you bought tickets to first. We'll consider that your choice for the weekend.
Okay, I'm putting in Sonic and Everything Everywhere. Okay, I've done. So I put up a poll right now for those of you guys watching live, and the poll is very simple. It says, "What are you most likely to see this weekend? Ambulance, Sonic, or Everything Everywhere All at Once?" But while we have the Maharaja of box office predictions here, Ray, how much money is Sonic going to make this weekend?
I'm saying, what's the estimate right now?
What was it?
If
60 to 75?
75.
I'm actually going to go below the estimate.
Really? Okay.
I'm going to say about 56 million.
I don't think you know what? I won't be surprised if I mean, that's still a huge win for them. If it does come in that much. I mean, I still consider that to be a huge win. All right, let's go over and see if you guys have answered on the, okay, so we got about 800 respondents so far on the poll. And by a mile, 54% are saying Sonic is what they're most likely to see this weekend. Everything Everywhere All at Once is at 36%, and only 10% of respondents are saying Ambulance, which, I mean, that's total a flip-flop reversal of where Ambulance and Everything Everywhere is actually probably going to come in at the box office. But I hope this poll is a reflection of that. We got over 1,000 votes now.
Is Fantastic Beasts next weekend?
I believe it's next weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not this weekend. So
these movies better make the money while they can.
Because listen, Fantastic Beasts isn't going to be $150 million opening or anything like that, but it will be number one next weekend. It definitely will.
And word of mouth, if people like it, I still believe we'll get that extra, a little bit of money, more money than it would have made.
If Ann Campea has anything to say about it, everybody's going to go see that movie. She adored it. I mean, I think it's the best of the Fantastic Beasts films. You know, it's not the best of the Harry Potter films overall, but it's a good movie. She loved it though. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Where are your box office predictions, and what are the movies out of the new ones opening this week that you are most likely to go see? Are you going to go with the bigger crowd with Sonic, maybe one of the plucky underdog here and Everything Everywhere All at Once? Are you looking for that Bayhem? Right now you go for Ambulance. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a minute and thank a sponsor of today's video, Vuori. Now, you know, Ann and I like to work out and train several days a week, but the thing is, I want to be comfortable and not look like a slob at the same time, and I often have a hard time finding something that does both. But Vuori, everything is designed to work out in, but it doesn't look or feel like it's made to be worked out in. It is so comfortable, you will want to wear this stuff all the time. Now, you guys know I like some flexibility and versatility in the clothes that I wear, but that's where Vuori comes in. See, it can be used for just about any activity like running, training, swimming, yoga, but it's also great just for lounging around or going out on the weekends in. For example, take the men's core shorts. These are the most comfortable and one of the best looking pairs of shorts that you can own, and they're versatile. One pair of shorts for just about every sport that you can play. Or take the men's Sunday performance jogger. These pants are perfect for lounging around in or going out for a good run. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our viewers, they are offering 20% off your very first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/Campea. That's VUORI.com/Campea. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/Campea and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. And a big thank you to our friends at Vuori for sponsoring today's episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 3, shall we? Chris, what is our third main topic today?
Our third main topic comes from a surprise guest? We don't know. Let us know who you are in the chat. Good morning, John, Robert, Chris, and crew. I recently read an article on Screen Rant, and apparently a number of fans are vehemently petitioning Warner Brothers to have Grant Gustin make his big screen debut immediately taking over for Ezra post-Flashpoint movie, meaning only one person playing the Flash at a time. I'm sure there are better options out there, but perhaps it's better to just save face and boot out Ezra ASAP. Thoughts? Hashtag continuity schmontinuity.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. All right, now just laying the context here so everybody knows. Obviously, Ezra Miller is in some hot water right now with 3 or 4 different embarrassing incidents for Warner Brothers. I told you guys a couple of days ago that I had been informed by a Warner Brothers source that they are discussing their options when it comes to Ezra Miller. And then the next day, yesterday, Rolling Stone magazine confirmed that, saying that they're talking about pausing any further projects with Ezra Miller and taking him out entirely. That's not what they've decided to do. It just says it is what's on the table right now. They're at least going to pause things for now. So in the wake of that, like grandma predicting rain because her knees are getting sore, you knew this discussion was going to come up. The discussion of Grant Gustin. And a lot of people who have been saying for a long time, like Grant Gustin should be the movie Flash and all that kind of stuff. And sure enough, there are a lot of people right now asking for Grant Gustin to be the guy. They want him to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash right now, immediately. Now, of course, the two of these guys appeared together as the Flash in a last-minute kind of add-in scene for one of the CW crossover events last year, and that got a lot of people excited. And I'm not going to lie, I thought it was pretty cute. It was pretty fun. It was pretty cute. So now a whole lot of people are wanting Grant Gustin. There's a lot of fans online wanting Grant Gustin to replace Ezra. And we get tweets like, Warner Brothers and DC execs held an emergency meeting, blah, blah. And then fans are writing, probably a good time to mention this. Grant Gustin would have been a much better DCEU Flash. This is the guys over at Joe Blow who are posting these, by the way. Another viewer wrote, I generally would be okay if Flash movie gets delayed another year while they reshoot all of Ezra's scenes with Grant Gustin as his replacement. I mean, he's already the perfect Barry Allen. Another fan writes, where is Grant Gustin? Warner Brothers got a whole multiverse at their disposal. Ezra is too much of a liability. Dare I say, recast? Give it to Grant Gustin, another fan writes. Please, God, that man is so good. He deserves better with the show with a $5 million budget. All right. And this is all over the place. People are calling for Grant Gustin to be the new Flash. So, being the spreader of joy and happiness that I am here to shit all over everybody's dreams. That would be a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea. There are a couple of reasons why. They will not bring in Grant Gustin to be the new movie Flash, and they should not bring in Grant Gustin to be the new movie Flash. Let's start more with the perceptual problem. Then we'll go on to a practical one, okay? A perceptual one here. I like Grant Gustin very much. You guys know, I mean, look, I have checked out of the Flash show. I have checked out. But I liked that show for a long time. Years and years and years. And one of the really good reasons, big reasons that I liked it so much is that I like Grant Gustin's Flash. But it should be pointed out, I liked Grant Gustin playing the version of the Flash, and that version of the Flash is perfectly good for a CW show. Let me go through those steps again. I like Grant Gustin as that version of the Flash, and I like that version of the Flash in the context of a CW show. That ain't a cinematic Flash. And I'm saying this as a guy who has been a big fan and a big evangelist of the Flash show and the CW shows for a lot of years. Obviously, it was huge in Arrowverse. That got me into the Flash. I didn't even think the Flash show was a good idea. Then I watched it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is really fun. For a CW show. For what it was. In the context in which it is, and in which our brains interpret it. It ain't a cinematic Flash. It ain't a Flash. The goofiness that goes into the CW, which is perfectly charming there and works for there, is not something that translates to the screen. That version of the Flash should not be on the big screen. It's great where it is, or at least it was great where it is. Like I said, I checked out about a season and a half ago. But there's that. Well, okay. Why can't you just replace Ezra with Grant Gustin then? Say it's still the movie version of the Flash. It's not the Flash from the TV show. Just replace it with Grant Gustin. Well, what sense does that make? Why not go out and get anybody else? Because I'm going to tell you what, and this is the part that's going to piss people off. If people wanted to see Grant Gustin as the Flash, they can do that today for free. If any of you at home want to see Grant Gustin as the Flash, right now, you can for free on television. And you know how many people are tuning in to watch him play the Flash on television for free? Let me put this in context. This is the scope of the last reported view numbers and ratings for Wednesday night television. I believe this is March 30th. I might be off by a day or two, but I think this is March 30th. Survivor was number one, pulling in 5.4 million views. Actually, let me ask Ray, you and Chris right now. How many viewers do you think the Flash episode had that Wednesday? Understanding that Survivor was number one with 5.4 million. Ray, let me go to you first. How many viewers do you think Flash had?
I have no idea what the numbers would be usually, so I can't.
Wild guess. I won't hold anything.
300,000.
Okay, Chris?
800,000?
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Survivor was number one with 5.4 million. The Masked Singer was number two with 4.1 million. Chicago Fire and Chicago Med and Chicago PD. Does anybody watch these shows?
My mom.
I watch Chicago PD. I don't watch the other ones. I don't know anybody else that watches these shows. But 3-point-some-odd million each.
Dang.
Okay. Let's see. We've got the Goldbergs, had 2.1 million viewers. The Connors, I didn't even know that show was still on. The Connors got 1.8 million views. The Wonder Years, I don't know anybody watching that, but it's got 1.5 million views. Homemaker, okay, no, I'll just break the thing here. The Flash had 570,000 viewers. 570,000 viewers. Only above Kung Fu, also on CW. It only got 10,000 more viewers than Kung Fu on CW got. That's how many people watch this show. So, theoretically, understanding that the national average ticket price to go to a movie, I know it's much higher in a lot of cities, but whatever, the national average ticket price is around $10 for a ticket to go to see a movie. What these numbers tell me is that every single person who watches The Flash today for free on television, if every single person who watches The Flash on television bought a movie ticket to go see him play The Flash in a movie, that would equal $5.7 million in box office. If every single human being who watches Grant Gustin as The Flash for free today, that would equal $5 million at the box office. Now, obviously, that is not an actual direct mathematical equation. Obviously, there would be other variables. I'm not saying if Grant Gustin played The Flash, that movie would only make $5 million. I'm just making a point here, is that there's, number one, that Flash on CW is great there, would not work well in the movies. And number two, Grant Gustin is not the guy to go in and play it. And I love Grant. By the way, I'm a big Grant Gustin fan. Make no mistake about it. I like Grant very, very much. Follow him on social media. great dude, funny dude, great family life. I love the guy, but he's not the guy to play Flash.
We get it, John. It's the end of it's getting closer to the end of the week. It's been long hours. You know, sometimes there's a particular topic that knocks you off your rocker. And this is it, man. This angle is so absurd. I even have to step in and say, I don't know yet. Because you know what? In a different environment, Grant Gustin could step up his game. Or maybe it's just the show is really bad from what people are telling me. I've never watched The Flash. For me personally, every time my roommate is watching it and I look over, Grant Gustin doesn't, just his whole character on there is not magnetic to me at all. So I just, maybe that's why I don't go start watching it. But hey, for some other people, if you like that Flash, then good. That's fine. But on screen, we don't know. Maybe he'll be good. Who knows? If there's a replacement, I think people just want him to be there because it's the only other person that's held this title of the Flash, and it's kind of like they feel it might be like maybe a seamless transition. I don't know.
But it's the same thing. Like, it would bring up a question, then why Grant Gustin?
Exactly. Because
I brought I remember when they were making the Superman movie, everybody said, Tom Welling is Superman. Bring Tom Welling in to play Superman. It's like, they're making Superman the movie. They're not making Smallville the movie. Mm-hmm. And they're making a DC Cinematic Universe thing of a Flash, which is totally separate, other than seeing the two Flashes together. But they're not making the Flash CW show the movie. So I don't know, Chris, what's your take? You heard from Ray, you heard from me. What's your take on it?
there's so many actors in the world. There's so many. Why does it have to be this one person? Because I do feel like this ship kind of sailed. Like, what, 8 years ago when we were starting to talk about a Flash movie? Yeah, I went, oh, that'd be really cool if then Grant is the one to go on and be the cinematic version of Barry Allen as well. Because I do like this character, and I think the show now, in the last few seasons, really, really suffers from very poor writing. Which is a shame, because this is something that I thought kind of trumped the Arrowverse for a while. When we started getting those first few seasons of Flash, I was like, this show is fantastic.
I really liked it a lot for a few years, yeah.
It was really, really good. And I feel like we've just kind of gone downhill with the quality of the show. And also, after this long, does Grant Gustin want to continue playing the Flash in a different way? Maybe he does if we open up the conversation to him. Grant, let us know. But you could get anyone, and that's the whole point of these multiverses and everything, is that it doesn't have to be the same cast of characters constantly. So in everyone's perfect world of any actor could be this, y'all are still picking Grant? That's fine, no judgment. But you could put in anyone, because the kind of thing people are talking about doing here is some Flashpoint thing happens that it's a different Flash. So why does it have to be one you've seen already?
But one you've seen already that nobody watches.
And plus, the whole thing with the Warner Brothers and the DCEU, I don't think anyone's really gotten attached to this Ezra Flash. I do like him too, John, like his character, the way he plays him, but I could easily see anybody taking that role.
It could be anybody else that would probably draw an audience. And again, I say this as somebody who really likes Grant Gustin. I'll tell you what, Rob, if you completely agree with me, say nothing. There we go. All right.
Wow.
So
Can we keep that up for Star Trek?
You know, yeah.
Rob, what do you think of Picard?
What do you think of Picard, Rob?
You know, John, it could be for me, it could be a complete, I know this might not make money, but it could be a complete unknown. I think the Flash and the effects of the Flash and his powers are good enough for me to want to see a Flash movie.
I want to see one too.
Without even knowing who the actor is. So, but yeah, of course, a money-making actor will, of course, bring in the bills or bring in.
Echo what Ray was saying too is Grant could deliver, right? Grant has been just playing a different Barry.
Yeah, no, look,
so I do want to
by all means,
throw that out there.
I am not saying here, Grant Gustin is not a caliber enough actor to be able to pull off a move. No, not in any way, shape, or form.
Sometimes the chat only sees in black and white, so I want to clarify.
Yeah, I never said no. Grant
actor.
plays like the character they give him to play in the CW show. Grant is great for it. Mm-hmm. But there is no reason it should be Grant Gustin. Yeah, Grant could do well. Ray could do well. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, Grant is a real
Me
actor,
going super fast?
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that's believable.
Ray Aura for Barry
That's super
Allen.
believable.
Yes.
But I mean, there are a million actors out there who could do great.
Exactly.
Who could be fantastic. So why Grant Gustin? Because he already plays a Flash. Flash that nobody watches. So, I mean, again, and that's not a commentary on Grant Gustin. The dude's amazing. I think it's time for Grant to move on to a different character. I think he's been playing, he's now going to play it for a 9th season.
Yeah.
And he's put in his time, man. It's time for Grant to be given another show, to be given another character to play. He's already shown he can carry and lead a TV show. Let him do something else.
And they've given him episodes because I stuck it out. I still was watching, and this last season is when I went, maybe I'll take a break.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think? A lot of people online, because us fans online have no imagination, just want to see the one guy they've already seen wearing a Flash costume play the Flash. Hey, it's Grant Gustin. I love the dude, though. So, hey, let him do whatever he wants. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think they should turn the DC movie version of the Flash into the CW Flash? Yes, no, somewhere in between. Are there some aspects of this we're not considering here that are good or bad? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, the good folks at Manscaped. You know, I was in the shower the other day and I looked down and I thought, my goodness, the boys look fantastic. Dr. Jack Hammer, the amazing Mr. Fantastical, have never looked or felt better, and that is in part due to our friends at Manscaped. Because our friends at Manscaped are the global leaders in below-the-waist hygiene and are turning men's shower dreams into their favorite routine with the all-new Ultra Premium Collection. This all-in-one hygiene skin and hair bundle is designed to upgrade the everyday man's shower routine from head to toe. Your skin, hair, and balls deserve the best, my friends. You start off using the cologne-infused ultra-premium body wash with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized all day. Then boom, it's time to take care of your hair. Simply apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses and nourishes your hair all in one step. Then once you dry yourself off and hop out of the shower, it's time to protect yourself from body odor by applying the Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant. And do you have tattoos or any dry skin? A lot of us do. It's time to hit your skin with the hydrating body moisturizer spray. Cap it all off by applying some Manscaped lip balm. And then last but not least, we're moving on to the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer to clean off any unwanted body hair. So guys, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Campea, that's C-A-M-P-E-A, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Campea at manscaped.com. And if you're running like Barry Allen, you got chafing, make sure you take care of yourself, guys, with our friends at Manscaped. And thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic. What main topic are we on now? Four. Let's move on to main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This one comes from Jessica. It looks like the Oscars' implication that animated films are just for little kids and adults just have to put up with them. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller have had enough. I read their article calling on Hollywood and the audience in general to start giving some damn respect to the field of animation and animated movies. Did you have a chance to read the article, and do you agree with what they have to say?
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, Jessica. And yeah, now, of course, there's been a renewed conversation here lately because of the presentation of Best Animated Film at the Oscars, where 3 of the live-action Disney princesses came out to present the award, in which they said, you know, animation is so special because they were important to us in our formative years as children. And yeah, children love to watch these movies over and over and over again. And you parents know what. And the implication is, of course, that animation is just for little kids and adults only watch it because they're parents and they have to put up with it. Now, it was a joke, right? Like, I am a huge fan of animation. I knew it was a joke, all right? Jokes are made at the Oscars all the time. Everybody needs to be able to take a joke. But even though it was just a joke, the problem is that the joke actually does kind of reflect what a lot of people's attitudes are about animation. I've pointed this out many times over my career, going all the way back to the movie blog days, is that there was a stretch of years where 6 out of 7 years, the number 1 critically rated film of the year was a Pixar film. But none of those films had been nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Award. The Academy needs to take animated films more seriously. Their answer was a half measure. They decided, well, all right, we're so tired of dealing with animated. So I don't know. Hey, set up a kiddie table over there. Yeah. We'll make a best animated Oscar category so we don't have to bother considering them for the real Oscars. And so they created a best animation category, to which a lot of animation fans celebrated, but I'm like, no, this is disrespect. I consider the creation of a best animated category to be a form of disrespect to the medium of animation. The best movie is the best movie is the best movie. It doesn't matter what the medium is in which is projected on screen. And for a lot of years, I mean, look, I celebrate when great movies win Best Animated Picture. That's great, but it's still, to me, a sign that that category even exists. That the Hollywood, and not just Hollywood, a lot of the audience do not take animated films seriously. And it's a problem. And two other guys who have recognized this as a problem are two of the great filmmakers today, Lord and Miller, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who of course did Rainy with a Chance of Meatballs, which I love that movie. And of course they were kind of like, they were the producers with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I think is like one of the best movies of the past 5-6 years, let alone best animated movies. They've got Oscars on their mantle and all that kind of stuff. So the latest thing that happened to the Oscars kind of prompted them to write an op-ed piece for Variety. And I'm going to read several paragraphs here. So hang with me here as we read about a bunch of this. I'll see if I can get this a little bigger on the screen for you guys. But basically, they start off with this. Last Sunday, at a very eventful Oscars, it was easy to miss when 3 actors identified as Disney princesses presented the Best Animated Feature Award by reading, "Animated films make up most of our formative movie experiences as kids. So many kids watch these movies over and over and over and over and over. I think some parents out there know exactly what we're talking about." Framing the 5 Academy Award nominees for Best Animated Feature as a corporate product for kids that parents must begrudgingly endure could be dismissed as simply careless. But to those of us who have dedicated our lives to making animated films, that carelessness has become routine. The head of a major, listen to this, the head of a major animation studio once told an assembly of animators that if we played our card rights, we could one day graduate to live action. Years later, an executive at another studio said a certain animated movie we made was so enjoyable that it reminded them of a real movie. There are, of course, more important things in the world and more important things to think about in the wake of this year's Oscars, including some true high points we shouldn't overlook. Beyonce, Compton, Coda, Questlove. But the repeated diminishment of our art form is at the top of animators' minds. We are currently negotiating with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers to get studios to pay animation workers fairly, especially when animation is such a large and important part of their bottom lines. Look up #New Deal for Animation to learn more. During the pandemic, when much physical media production was shut down, animators began working from home immediately to keep the business afloat. Now I want to jump ahead a paragraph. This is key here. Lord and Miller point out, they are also hits. When broadcasters bemoan the fact that so many of the nominated films have not been widely seen, they must be forgetting that animated movies and nominees Luca, Ryan the Last Dragon, and Mitchell's vs. the Machines, which was really good, by the way, were 3 of the 10 most streamed movies of 2021. 7 of the 10 animated. Or that 25% of the 50 highest grossing films of all time are animated. Or that huge percentages of theatrical audiences for mainstream animated films is made up of adults unaccompanied by children. Animation is for everyone. That's the battle cry. Animation is for everyone. And the studios know it. That's why we're seeing unprecedented investment in animation production. They go on and basically talk about this. Then they make some great suggestions like, hey, how about this? How about when you're presenting the Academy Award for Best Animation, how about get a respected filmmaker? Get a Guillermo del Toro. Hell.
Who loves animation.
Get a Miyazaki.
Yes.
Who has never been on the Oscar stage. Get Miyazaki in here to present the award or something like that, right? And I just wanted to address for a second the overall concept of this. Is it fair to say that traditionally animation has been made for kids? You're not off on another universe if you suggest that. That has kind of been the perception for a long time. But if you've been paying attention, even historically, whether you're talking about Fritz the Cat or whatever, heavy metal. But animation today, and this is what I've always said makes Pixar so great. Pixar does not make children's movies. They don't make kids' movies. They make kid-friendly movies. When you watch The Incredibles, why would you think for 1 minute that movie was made for children? It's a movie about two parents, slightly past middle age, thinking back, and the father especially, thinking about back to his glory days and seeing where his life has come, feeling certain regrets or whatever, maybe not capturing the totality of what he actually has to appreciate in his life. Tell me what that, for what kid's going to understand any of that? The thing that's made Pixar the best animation studio in the world is that they make movies for everyone. Their movies are for everyone. Every one of their movies that I watch is at least 40% of it that no kid would ever understand. But it is friendly for children at the same time. And that's great. We sit down in a movie theater and we watch moving images on a screen. And they need to tell us stories with characters we care about, with themes we can relate to. They got to make us laugh and they got to make us cry. They got to make us feel. They got to do what every movie needs to do, which is deliver an experience. It don't matter what fuck the medium is when it's on that screen. It doesn't matter if a director has an idea for a scene of a character who's going through this. Okay, well, get an actor and point a camera at him doing it, or get an artist to sit down and create the visuals of it doing it. It's still that story. The movies are either good or they're not. And while I think some overblown reactions to the Oscar presentation have been made, because I get it was just a joke. I think it's been overreacted to a little bit, but it does raise the point. Animation does not get the fucking respect it deserves. The people who make animation do not get the respect they deserve.
Not at all.
And honestly, I've been saying for a long time, the fact that animated movies come out and the first thing studios do is rush out to hire popular, famous actors to do it instead of properly trained voice actors. And I get sometimes marketing is a part of the movie business. I get that. I understand that. Maybe that's why you get Jack Black to do the voice of Poe. But then you got 30 other characters. Maybe get people who actually train in voice acting do it. And I'm not just saying there to kiss the ass of a voice actor who's sitting in here. I've been saying this since the movie blog days. So I don't know, Chris, obviously you have a dog in this fight. You are heavily vested in the animation world. You've done voices on many animated projects. You are a vocal coach. You teach people how to do this stuff. But you've read through Lord and Miller's article here. What stands out to you? And what do you think is the ultimate message to take away from this?
That it does need to be given more respect. And I also didn't really enjoy the quips of the princesses, but I also was, it's a joke. That being said, this kind of disrespect does trickle down throughout the entirety of the industry. I've talked about on here before. When I was on the SAG nominating committee, I wasn't nominating any voice actors. That wasn't even an option for me. Not even vocal performances of all these A-list actors who were getting jobs in animation. Just could not vote for anyone doing any voiceover work. The animators themselves, the reason why we need a new deal for animation is because they are worked to the bone. They are worked horrible, horrendous hours. And everyone was up in arms doing all the IATSE posts before. And I called people out on social a few weeks ago. Where are all of you now? Where are all of you while we're trying to do all this stuff, the same stuff for animators? Because yes, it was horrible hearing about all the things that were happening on live action sets. It is still happening and often sometimes worse with animation. They didn't have a break during the pandemic. They went immediately to work. Because they could. And that's where most of you got your entertainment then, was from animated projects. Commercials went that way too, doing animated features with voice actors talking over those things as well. So when we don't have that baseline of respect for this medium, because like you're saying, it's a medium, it's not a genre, then no one's going to give it the care and attention that it deserves. Beauty and the Beast is probably the most formative film I ever watched in my life. And 30 years ago, it earned a Best Picture nomination.
First one ever. First animated film ever.
And it deserves it. You watch that film and it's beautiful. And frankly, when they tried to do it as a live action film, it was dog shit. Oh, I love Emma Watson so much. I love Luke Evans. How did that movie go so bad? It's because the other one, you didn't need to change anything. Everything was great about it. Why would you touch it? So I do think that Miller and Lord are right on the money here. And the fact that people inside the industry say stuff like that too, maybe one day you'll get to do big kid stuff, because I hear that as an actor all the time. Hey, do you ever want to do proper acting? Do you ever want to be a real actor? Fuck you. I'm a real actor. I have to do it without my body language. I don't have the luxury of having a camera that's basically smarter than most actors because it picks up all your micro expressions. I don't have that. If I'm losing 55% of the way people communicate, how am I going to tell a story and how am I going to be of service to animators who worked themselves to the bone? That's difficult. That's an art form and it needs respect.
Guys, question is for you. What do you think about what Lord and Miller's saying here? I completely agree with them 100%. It's time to stop looking at this. Like, can you continue to make animated films that are for children? Sure. But it's time to recognize that a lot of animated films are just made for everybody. And I think they deserve to get that respect. And I'm going to continue to call on the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences. And I know a lot of animation people don't want to hear me say this, but get rid of the best animated category and just actually give animated films the proper respect. When you had like 6 out of 7 years where they're the number one critically rated films, but they don't get nominated for Best Picture, that's a problem. And it's time to respect them. Anyway, guys, that's just my take on it. What do you guys think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 5 here, shall we? Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
This one comes from Lucas Cambites. Hey, John and crew. I read a quote from Sam Raimi today where he was doing an interview for Fandango. They asked him if there were any possibility he would ever make another Spider-Man movie starring Tobey Maguire, to which he responded in a surprisingly optimistic way. He said that after working on Doctor Strange, he realized that the possibilities at Marvel are endless. And although he doesn't know if Sony Marvel wants another Spider-Man movie from him, nor does he have a story or script, he would love to do it given the opportunity and bring back Tobey and Kirsten Dunst. Do you think it's likely Spider-Man 4 from Sam Raimi could happen? And if so, could you be excited about it?
All right. Thanks a lot for writing that in, man. Appreciate that. Okay, look. How do you put something like this? So I saw this created a lot of headlines with a lot of people, but this is one of those situations where I get it. I get the excitement. Because quite often, people will run with headlines that are like, somebody asks an actor, hey, would you ever like to be in a Star Wars movie? Oh, sure. What actor's going to say no? But then headlines, blah, 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 wants to do a Star Wars movie. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. But this is a little bit different. So Sam Raimi, who of course has Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming out, which I'm so excited about. Sam Raimi, who has made one of the generally accepted, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time in Spider-Man 2. And certainly the shepherd of a franchise that kind of helped lead the way into the golden age of comic book movies with his Spider-Man franchise. Spider-Man 3 notwithstanding. But Sam Raimi. And of course we had Tobey Maguire just popped up in Spider-Man No Way Home. So Sam Raimi was directly asked, could you and Tobey Maguire make a Spider-Man 4? Because with the multiverse stuff and with the success of No Way Home, as Rob has said during this, dude, it made over $1.5 billion. Everything's on the table, right? He's not wrong about that. What was an impossibility suddenly becomes plausible. Could we see that happen? Well, Sam Raimi was asked directly about that, and he gave what I thought was a pretty interesting answer. He said the following. This comes to us from the folks at Coming Soon who write this. I've come to realize that after making Doctor Strange, that anything is possible. Really anything in the Marvel Universe, any team-ups, said Raimi in an interview with Fandango. I love Tobey. I love Kirsten Dunst. I think all things are possible. I don't really have a story or a plan. I don't know if Marvel would be interested in that right now. I don't know what their thoughts are about that. I haven't really pursued that, but it sounds beautiful, the idea of doing another Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Even if it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, I'd love to work with Tobey again in a different role. So either way, whether it was Spider-Man or not. So basically asked, would you make another Spider-Man with Tobey? He said, man, that idea sounds beautiful to me. That sounds beautiful to me. All right. The big question, though, is it's great to say that. Could that actually happen? Now, I think Sam Raimi did a very good job here covering his bases. Look, let's be clear. Ain't nobody talked to me about this. I have no idea what their plans are. I have no idea. I got nothing. But if you're asking me straight up, Do I like that idea? I think it sounds beautiful. I'd work for Tobey in a heartbeat. Hell, even if it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, I'll work with Tobey Maguire again. But could it happen? All right. Let me say this first. He's right when he says anything is possible. And I mean, anything is possible, right? I mean, with this happening, we live in a world where Jamie Foxx came back to play Electro. Something I would have bet the farm on would never happen again a couple of years ago, and yet here we are. Anything can happen. But there is a difference. We talk about this on the show a lot. There's a difference between possibility and probability. There's a big difference between possibility and probability.
But we're dealing with Sony here. We're dealing with Sony right now here. I don't even think they know what they're doing right now.
We'll see. I mean, Morbius doesn't elicit a whole ton of confidence, does it? But, so is it possible? We've already established. Yes. Okay. Is it probable? No. No, it's not probable. And quite frankly, I loved seeing Tobey Maguire pop back up. It gave me that great nostalgia rush. It felt like finally getting proper closure to something that was kind of left dangling. Because remember, after Spider-Man 3, they were mere weeks away from getting things rolling on Spider-Man 4, which I believe John Malkovich was going to play Vulture in that, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
I think it was John
that
Malkovich.
would have been great.
Was going to play Vulture in a part 4. They were ready to roll. The plug got pulled and everything kind of felt unfinished. So having Tobey pop up in that movie felt really good, better than I thought it would. Like, even just for me personally, just like, wow, this feels good. Got him back, gave him a send-off, done. But the Tobey Maguire era, and I think Tobey Maguire will be the first person to say this, the time for the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is past. We have moved on. We have moved on several generations. To the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, who happens to be my favorite Spider-Man of all time, to the Tom Holland Spider-Man. We now got the animated Miles Morales Spider-Man. We got Madam Web coming. We got, look, we have moved on several generations. It's time. Tobey Maguire's turning 47 years old. He did great in No Way Home. He did great. But I think we just need to enjoy that and accept it for what it was. It was the swan song. The swan song so many of us have been wanting to see for a long time. So, is it possible? I'd be a fool to say it's not possible. Of course it's possible. But is it probable? No. I wouldn't expect to see this happen at all, nor should it. I think this was the terrific send-off for him and that character. It gave us the closing that we wanted for so long. And now it's time to move on. We've got a terrific Spider-Man in action right now in Tom Holland. We got a terrific animated version of Spider-Man right now with Miles Morales. We've got a lot of great things going on with Spider-Man. We need to focus on those things. So possibility, yes. Probability, no. Chris, you heard the words from Sam Raimi, which I thought was a terrific response. Mm-hmm. But what do you think? Could we see another, not just Tobey Maguire pop up as a cameo, but a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie? Do you think that's something that could actually happen?
No. I mean, I know, and Kirsten Dunst has done the put me back in, coach, but it's that same thing, right? Of, yeah, actors, we want to work. We want to work in these big budget universes too. And if we have a good script, of course we want to be there. But I really don't see Tobey coming back to do his own Spider-Man film. Maybe he could be guiding a Miles Morales. Maybe we could have that kind of film with him, but I don't think he would be the Spider-Man that we'd be following. I just don't see it happening. As much as I enjoyed those original films, gosh, that second one is incredible. And I think it really set the stage for comic book movies as we know and love them today. But try as Sam might, I really don't think this one's going to happen in the way that we all would think, oh yeah, Spider-Man 4, just moving on ahead as scheduled. There was just a delay. Don't think it's going to be there.
You know, and I've said for a long time, look, I love Homecoming. Mm-hmm. I love Far From Home. I really enjoyed No Way Home. Disney has yet to make a Spider-Man movie as good as Spider-Man 2. That's still that and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse are the two best Spider-Man movies. So you gotta understand, this isn't just me being a Marvel homeboy saying that. It's I think Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movie is better than any Spider-Man movie Marvel's made. It's just that was its era. Mm-hmm. Look, Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player of all time. not my favorite hockey player of all time, but he's the greatest hockey player of all time. Do I want to see him suit up for the Toronto Maple Leafs today? No. It's his era was then. This is a new era. Ray, let me ask you this.
Yes, I would like Wayne Gretzky to play for the to play for the Lakers right now.
To play anybody for the Lakers. But seriously, do you? Let me ask you.
There's no chance. There's no chance.
Would you want to see it?
No. I'm. You know what? But Sam Raimi, I would like to keep around, but I have to see Doctor Strange, in the Multiverse of Madness first. Because I think he could actually, another Marvel character could actually benefit from his style of movies, his vision. I don't know which one, but I would like to see him direct another Marvel thing. I meant, or maybe even take on a new character, just because he has that little horror aspect to his directing style. Where I'm like, there could be a character that's out there that he could really actually be behind and do.
I guess now look, I get it. I see the comments already. Like, the thing is, like, my opinion on this is not the popular opinion, but that's the thing. The popular opinion is often the wrong opinion. And I am not just somebody who goes along with what the fans want to hear. I say all the time on this show, my job is not to say what you want to hear. And my job is not to convince you to agree with me. My job is simply to give you what my perspective of it is, what my opinion of it is, in its most authentic and honest form, and to give it in such a way that it helps you more firmly establish why you agree with me or help you further establish why you disagree with me. And that's great, but I am never going to be the type of, like a lot of other YouTubers, I'm never going to be that YouTuber that says, what's the popular thing right now? Okay, say what everybody wants to hear. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to say what I actually think. Yeah. So anyway, right.
Do we even know what Tobey Maguire's last movie was before No Way Home? And even Kirsten Dunst, what was her last movie before No Way Home?
Kirsten Dunst did a lot of work. What's that?
Before that? I was like, this year? She's done so much.
Oh, I just haven't. Maybe I just
been out of. She's done
okay. Interview with the Vampire was one of her first movies she ever did. She's had a very long career.
Yeah, and she's done a lot of stuff with post Spider-Man and everything.
Yeah.
So Tobey not as much. It's like he just decided, and he kind of stepped away.
He's over it.
Like, remember, he had to be convinced. Mm-hmm. Tobey Maguire had to be convinced to come back for Spider-Man No Way Home, and it took a literal lunch with Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal. They had to pull out the big guns. Mm-hmm. They didn't just send some junior from the thing. Hey, can you go deliver this message to Tobey Maguire that we want him to be in a movie? He got imagine being so important that you get a message from Kevin Feige saying, can you please come have lunch with me? Like Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal.
You're paying though, Toby.
Yeah. Can you bring your wallet?
I don't got much right now, but can you pay?
They had to basically, he sat down with the top dogs and they had to convince him. They had to convince him to come back. So I don't even know that he's got any fire to want to come back or something like that.
Those Spider-Man movies must have taken a lot out of him. Maybe given him a new perspective of life and,
Well, the things he's delivered since then, too, because he's done some movies, he did Great Gatsby, and then he did that fantastic one where he was Jake Gyllenhaal's brother.
Yeah.
I mean, he's delivered some real powerhouse performances. I feel like he's just gotten very choosy, and why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
And also, dare I say, content.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jim Carrey a little bit. He just seems like,
I've done enough.
Like, I'm Spider-Man forever. I mean, I got all the money I'm ever going to need. I'm happy.
It was such a joy seeing him on screen again, like in Spider-Man. He looks healthy. He looks happy. I mean, sometimes when people come back, you could tell what kind of life they've been living since something. But
and he just did look like a cool youth pastor.
Yeah. He did look like the cool youth pastor. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Sam Raimi says, hey, it's a beautiful idea for me to do another Spider-Man with Tobey and Kirsten and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people, they'd fangasm over it. But honestly, do you think it's something that they'd really do? And do you think it's something that would actually work today? And doesn't even make sense even within the universe, a multiversal universe of stuff that they're doing now. I'm not convinced it is, but maybe you are. Whatever you guys think about that, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Coinbase. Have you found yourself curious about getting involved in cryptocurrency, but if you're like a couple of friends of mine who have been really interested in it, they felt kind of overwhelmed by it, like not even knowing how to get started? Well, that's where Coinbase comes in, because they make learning to buy and sell crypto simple. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy-to-use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. They support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. And that's why millions of people all over the world in 100 different countries trust Coinbase with their digital assets. So whether you're looking to diversify, just getting started, or searching for a better way to access crypto markets, start today with Coinbase. And for a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/Campea. Sign up at coinbase.com/Campea for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/Campea. And a special thank you to the folks at Coinbase for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with all that down, let's now move over and start taking your live comments and questions that you guys have been firing in for us. Chris, what do we got in there? What are people asking?
All right, first up is Andy, 1 of 4. Hi, John. To respond to you being almost tempted to watch some episodes of Riverdale, don't do it. I say do it. No, Andy. I'd get a kick out of you watching one episode, but if you watched a few random episodes after season 1 but before season 6, I would legit send $300 to your mailbag. You should also post IG stories of your body and face, going through severe physical distortions, cringing at the show. Here's dialogue from season 3, D&D Cult, to prep you. Inmate. I dropped out of the 4th grade to run drugs to support my Nana, Archie. That means you haven't known the triumphs of defeat, the epic highs and lows of high school football.
Oh my God. Is that really a line?
So bad. Yes, these are real things that this show does.
You know what? Well, as I was doing the, and Ray was pointing out that it looks like Rob keeps wanting to cut in to say something, but I just stop him. I don't give him an opportunity to say so. He's like, anyway. When I was doing my research a little bit on the ratings of Flash, it ain't the lowest rated thing they've got.
I wonder.
Where would we say Flash had 570,000 people watching it? So Riverdale was like 270,000 people are watching it. Like it's like right down rock bottom.
It's just me and Andy.
That's why when people started bringing up Riverdale, I'm like, wait a minute, that's still on? People still watch that? Crazy, Andy.
Okay.
But no. Look, you add a 0 to that 300, we'll talk. We'll talk about maybe me watching a few episodes, but it's going to take a 0, at least 1 0 for me to do that. All right, what's next?
All right, from Seconds from Disaster, 1 of 3.
Yeah.
Good day, Knights of Campea. Ooh.
Who say knee?
So this is what it's like on the inside. Moon Knight is so good so far. Leaves me questioning everything. Do you think... Whoop. Oh, there we go. Mr. Knight will be used to show when Steven is in control. I loved how he complimented himself throughout this episode, and the editing has me wowed. And the story is super intriguing and mysterious. It's hard to wrap my head around the brilliance Marvel continues to show. By the way, Ray is the man. Bring on the filthy.
You know, we were talking about this. Rob and I did the
spoiler,
the Moon Knight open spoiler discussion yesterday, and Rob had a theory that at some point we're going to see Steven in the Moon Knight outfit. But I think what Seconds from Disaster just point out is a really good reason why we won't. I think the Mr. Knight thing, not only is a comic thing, but the Mr. Knight persona gives us as the audience a clear, easy visual cue of knowing when is Mark in control and when is Steven in control. And that makes it, like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if sometime in episode 4 or 5 or 6 that we get a fight going on and a punch is thrown. You see Moon Knight throwing a punch. Then the camera swings around after the punch. He starts throwing another punch, but it's Mr. Knight throwing the other punch. And like we see like some duality going on where they swap back and forth between the two.
Fun.
Like during a fight, right? So I think it just becomes a really great visual cue so we as the audience always know which persona's in control. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
That'd be rad.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Love that.
All right. What's next?
All right, from Monkey of all DJs. Greetings from Winnipeg. Saw a trailer for Marcel the Shell with shoes on, and all I could think of was Felipe the dancing sentient microphone. Hey, John? Love you guys. Bring on the filthy.
But Chris, did you mentioned the thing? Did you watch?
I still haven't watched the trailer, but I love Marcel the Shell. I love Jenny Slate so much, so I need to check this out.
All right,
Precious.
sorry, we had accidentally skipped over a couple of questions, so let's go back to Fry Minis.
Fry Minis. Ray, why did we see Halo's cheeks?
I haven't seen episode 3 yet. Or is that something you got in your?
We
We should call him Master Cheeks. No,
Yes. Hashtag.
just you
Master
wait,
Cheeks.
John. They're gonna give you more than you ever want.
Am I going to get some Master Cheeks? Master Cheeks. All right. What's next?
From Sam Fisher. Finally got my Doctor Strange ticket. 19 hours later.
Oh, I know. What a look. It wasn't as much of a crap show as the Spider-Man No Way Home tickets were, but considering that the hour they released them at, there's still no excuse for that. They're still having these problems.
Yeah.
And we got Thor coming. We got some big movies coming. They got to be ready for this stuff. All right. I'm glad you're finally able to get your tickets, though, Sam. I'm glad you got them. All right. What's next?
All right, from Hero75, one of 3. I am more convinced than ever that WB will have the Speed Force change Ezra Miller Flash into a new version of the Flash. This would allow them to write them off while adding a couple of scenes explaining that possibly, and just have the new Flash appear at the end of the movie.
There he goes.
It has worked for a long time on Doctor Who and would likely be the best way to dump Ezra without massive reshoots.
No, they're not doing that. I have zero doubt they're not doing that. Now, I still believe, like, I get it. There is a huge appeal right now for them just to get rid of him as it is, but you can't. I mean, I get it. We talked about, reshooting the entire movie. They're not going to put up $150 million to reshoot the entire movie. You can't digitally swap his face out, because I think it was either you or Aaron was pointing out, there's massive SAG issues there right now. You can't do it. And the movie shot, its movie will be the final time we see Ezra Miller as Flash.
So you think that it's just going to be a one-off, whatever the way it ends, even if it's a cliffhanger, they're just going to stop it right there and just move on from it?
Well, or even if it's a cliffhanger, they'll just do the next movie, and now playing the role of Barry Allen is Brendan Fraser. I mean, or something. Yay! But it'll just be simple as that. Like, they'll move on without. Listen, guys, actors just play roles. You can put a different actor in the role. You can do it. They've done it forever, and you don't have to be like Doctor Who or anything like that. You don't need a plot way to do it. Guess what? They swapped out War Machine for another War Machine. Nobody blinked.
No explanation.
It was no explanation. Just, you had one go, yeah, I'm here. It's me. Deal with it. And that was good enough. It's fine. They'll just swap them out, but I don't think they're changing this movie at all. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I just don't think they will. It just costs too much money at this point. All right, what else?
All right, from Big D Studios Entertainment. Gonna see Ambulance tonight. I respectfully understand you didn't care for it, but I hope it's fire. I'll let you know my thoughts.
Listen, there are definitely things to enjoy in this movie.
And fires.
And a lot of fires. And a lot of tires screeching. And a lot of hard left turns. And a lot of make-believe Los Angeles traffic that you could actually get around town. But no, honestly, listen, there's stuff to like there. I'm not surprised that it has, what do you say, 67%? Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised it has 67%. There is stuff in there to like. It's just that the stuff, for me personally, in my experience, the stuff that was horrible outweighed the positive. But for other people, the positive stuff will stand out more to them, and that's perfectly good. And I hope you have a great time at it, man. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher again. How do you determine when the super chats are full? Is it a page number system? Amount money donated? Am I wasting a super chat just by sending this?
Well, no, I mean, we determine that by I keep my eye on the count, because generally speaking, we can't have 2 hours of super chats. So I have a general count in mind. It's not always exact, but like once the count number of super chats that get sent in reach a certain number, then I go, okay, now we got to look at shutting it down, or else the show's going to be 3.5 hours long, and we don't want to do that. I mean, honestly, Rob and I have talked about it. We could literally make this show 5 hours every day if we just kept we generally only have the super chats open for about 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, and then we got to turn it off. So if we wanted to do like 5 hours a day, we could, but I don't think most people want to hang around for 5 hours. And I've got a new rule. We used to do companion videos right? So this is what made this happen. We used to do companion videos. So we would take in all these questions during the show, but we would hardly ever have time to get through all the questions. So then we would do a companion video later on, right? But here's the thing. If you're watching the show and you send in a question, you don't want to wait a day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 days to have your question answered. Like, I want my audience that if they send in a question that they know it's getting answered that day on that show. But that means we got to limit how many get sent in. So yeah, I just keep an eye on that, Sam, and keep an eye on how many are there, because I want my audience that they know that you send in a question for this show, it's being answered today. You don't have to wait a day or 2 days or 3 days. Gets answered today. All right. Hope that answers the question, man. All right. What's next?
From Jonathan Santiago, some super chat support. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you, man.
Tyler Pfeiffer, the Lakers are a national embarrassment.
What did I say, Ray?
Are they?
When they got...
You say a lot, John.
But when they got Carmelo Anthony and they signed up Russell Westbrook as the highest paid player on the team, by the way, how did I tell you the season was going to go? But I still thought they were going to make the playoffs. I thought they'd at least make the playoffs. Man, it was even worse than I thought. I mean, it's just, I had no idea what they were thinking.
You know, I didn't mind Carmelo. He's had some bright moments through the season. And plus, he's just a bench player. But the other guy, you know, he's probably just better off like on a team that's tanking, because that's when he plays the best.
Now, granted, their second best player, AD, missed a big chunk of the season. LeBron has missed, but I'm telling you, next year, mark me right now, Los Angeles Lakers next year, Final Four. They get into the Western semifinals, maybe even the finals.
You know what? It just brings me back to, they really should have just kept whoever they could have kept from the last team. They probably would have done way better than this team.
Oh, absolutely, they would have. Absolutely. All right, what's next?
All right. From J Master, one of two. Hey, John, have you checked out Parallels on Disney Plus? It's a French original series Disney released worldwide. Here in the US, the series is in English. This series is really awesome and interesting.
Uh-huh.
It sure is, Jason.
Yep. All right, we're just going to have to move on.
We'll
Guys,
find the rest of you.
yeah, here's the thing, guys. If you want to send in a multi-part question, that's great. Just please write it out first and then copy and paste it in so we don't have to go hunting for it. So anyway, to answer your question, Jay, no, I haven't seen it. I'd be lying to you also if I told you I had any interest in it. But then again, I haven't watched the marketing for it. Maybe if I did, I'd have some interest, but I haven't heard anybody talking about it until you, but you're putting it on my radar and a lot of people's radars. But I don't have a lot of interest. But hey, if like some other shows, if I start hearing from a lot of people, Jay, that I should be watching this, I might have to give it a shot. So thanks for putting it on our radar. All right, what's next?
All right, from Glenn Mark. Hi, guys. John, Ray, can you say payday like you do game day?
Payday!
In New Zealand, the minimum wage went up this month. What's more, my workplace surprised me and added a bit more to that raise. Woohoo!
Woo!
Oh, that's great. Well done, well done. And then the second part. Anyway, it's because of this magnificent thing called payday. I could jump on board with Chris and voiceover intro.
Oh, that's great.
Leverage $27 in my account, but that's okay. I can fast this week. Oh, don't fast for voiceover, Glenn.
Oh my God, Chris, how much do you charge?
It's really reasonable.
$5,000 a week.
Very reasonable class. It's per month.
Well, that's great. You know what's really weird? I remember when I was doing AMC, when I was at AMC, and we first started hiring people. Because like when AMC launched and they wanted to do their online movie thing, they recruited me to come and run it. It was me and two people assisting me. And they were both great. But when we finally got to the point after that I was able to start adding new staff, I remember like I think at first I was paying like $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. But at that time, people were looking at it going, wow, that's pretty good for doing online YouTube work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not anymore. Like
no.
not at all. Of course not. But I mean, hey, payday's great. I am curious what the minimum wage in New Zealand is.
Yeah. Glenn, let us know.
Yeah, I would actually be very, very curious, because the thing that's dumb is that I was watching this one report where the average cost of living has gone up over the past 15 years by X amount of percent. But in a lot of states, the minimum wage hasn't changed.
Yep.
How does that function? How does that work? How does a society function like that when the cost of living goes up that much, but the minimum wage does not go up? I don't understand that like at all.
Live from New Zealand.
All right, what's next?
All right, from Abraham Ruiz. Got an interview with Best Buy later.
Nice.
Wish me luck, y'all. Good luck, Abraham. Also, placed an order for the drink that shall not be named. We'll let y'all know what I think.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'll cover up their
There you go.
I'll cover up their logo. Ray and I both will cover the logo. See what happens?
See what happens?
See what happens, you cheap bastards?
You just made the list.
You just made the list. The little Chris Jericho.
You guys
coming up here.
are drinking that all the time. I had a tea company reach out to me because of drinking tea all the time on here.
How do you drink
Yeah.
tea on my show for
And
like
they're-
a minute
And they're giving me tea.
and they're reaching out to you and giving you tea?
I mean, not these people. Starbucks
Outraged.
doesn't.
This place is run by robots. That's all I'm thinking now.
Outraged.
Dang, they're
I'm
saying
glad you got that.
in the chat they're saying that minimum wage is $21 in New Zealand.
Good on
That's
you
great.
guys. That's
Live from New Zealand. This is the Ray Orr Show.
time for us to move the operation over to New Zealand. All right, what's next?
All right, from Ryan. We're sitting in an almost $20
Oh,
super
thank
chat.
you, Ryan.
Hey, John, it was great finally meeting you yesterday at the Fantastic Beasts event.
Oh, I by the way, I'll just say this quick. I could not believe, Ann and I were like amazed how many people came up to us at that event who watched the John Campea Show and stuff like that. So thank you to everybody who did that. And thank you, Ryan. So by all means, please continue.
I'm glad to see you enjoyed the movie. So did I. It was so much fun. By the way, how cool are the wands? New show name, The Filthy.
Yeah, probably won't do the filthy, but they gave us at this viewing Secrets of Dumbledore hats, limited posters, and wands. They gave out wands.
nice.
I got them out there in the kitchen. I'll go grab one later and I'll show them to you guys. But Ann and I both got them. It's like they've got some weight to them. They were really nice.
I just assumed my headcanon was Anne made you bring these things and was like, here is
I
your
think that's
wand.
everybody
We are going to
assumed,
get
yep.
sorted.
Yep, that's a very safe assumption, but they actually gave it all this stuff when we got there. It's
rad.
pretty cool. All right, thanks for writing in, Ryan. Thanks for saying hi yesterday. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher again. Question: how legitimate are the Grammys? Is it voted on by Music Academy of 7,000? Same question with the Tonys. Do you know?
Right now, you might as well ask me, John, how is plutonium processed? I don't know. When it comes to Grammys, I have no
I
idea.
think the Grammys are the top music award.
They're
though,
definitely the top music award. There's no
Okay.
doubt that the top music award.
Well, that's all I can say. I don't know.
I know for the Tonys, when you're a nominator, you have to see every new thing. So it's if you're asked, you can serve over overlapping 3 years. They're asked to see every new Broadway production and then meet each year shortly after Tony eligibility deadlines to do all of their nominations. So it's very much like the Academy.
But with the Grammys, I'm fairly convinced that it's. I mean, again, I have no idea. I have none. So this is just me. My own, as you would say, Chris. My own headcanon is that I feel like it's just a board that gets together like 10 people and said, okay, who's really popular right now? Because we have to give them all the awards. Because who's that little Filipino girl? Anne was just watching her.
I don't know what her name is. Rodrigo something.
Olivia Rodrigo?
Olivia
Olivia
Rodrigo. Yeah, this little Filipino girl. Awesome, great honor. Yay, Philippines. But it's
Or
like
part Filipino.
Yeah, she's
part Filipino. But like apparently she like won everything. It's like was she really the best artist this year?
You know
I mean, I
what?
know, but she's the hot name right now.
I mean,
so
that
like,
album's
give her all
great.
the awards.
You do feel ridiculous, though, being a 30-year-old woman, being like, oh my God, my driver's license, and crying in your car to her music.
I mean, look, no disrespect to her at all. I'm just saying, was she really the best artist this year? I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how the Grammys work. I am not plugged in any way, shape, or form to the music industry, like at all. All right, what's next?
All right, from William Bonnet. Never been a huge movie buff, but I stumbled upon your channel looking for a review of The Batman, and now I watch every day.
Oh man, thank you,
The
dude.
content is excellent, and the crew is top-notch. Awesome show, guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
you.
You know what I love? First of all, I love hearing from everybody who writes in all the time. It's always great, but there's a particular satisfaction, honestly, that comes when people write in who, like William is self-professed not a huge movie buff.
Me too.
And Ray, and like will tune in and want to watch the show. So that is seriously, William, that is also one of the highest compliments. So thank you so much for that. I deeply appreciate it. We're glad to have you here as a part of our community, man. All right, what's next? From
Grubby Don't Play. Have you ever tripped in the theater? I fell hard while holding 2 drinks seeing X and somehow saved 75% of both drinks. My knee was bleeding though. Oh.
Okay, first of all, if you fall holding drinks and popcorn and you're able to save a lot of the drink, you are a fucking Dick Grayson acrobat.
Yeah,
that is amazing. There's not enough kudos to that. Fortunately, I have never tripped in a theater, but holy crap, like whenever I'm carrying a load of stuff, because like yesterday, Ann and I, we stopped at the concession stand first, so kind of loaded up, and then we went in and realized they're giving us all this swag, so we're trying to carry all this stuff, and I thought, man, I'm gonna, and in these true IMAX theaters, like the one at the Spectrum Irvine, the stairs are like this steep. So I'm just like picturing in my head, holy crap, I'm going to face plant and I'm going to get somebody soaked in this. But it went fine, Grubby, and good job on saving most of your drink. Yeah. All right, what's next?
Suthius, why is it that Paramount is only releasing Halo episodes on their YouTube channel and no other show? Each episode releases 1 week after streaming.
I don't know if they're going to do that for the whole series, though. I think, look, some networks have done that where their first episode goes out, blah, 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 and then they'll put out the first episode later on like a social media network so you can see it, just to get more people hearing about it. It's not a terribly uncommon thing, and they shouldn't do it for all their shows. But this is one that, and listen, because not everybody who watches Yellowstone is on YouTube. But your target audience for Halo, they're probably on YouTube a lot. Absolutely. So it's a good strategy. I think it'll work.
And there's going to be more than 6 episodes. This is going to be like one of those
How many episodes is this thing going to have?
I'm thinking maybe 10 or 12, but I'll confirm that. I'll confirm that right now.
Yeah, Ray, you look it up, and guys in the live chat, let us know if you know how many episodes are going to. But I don't think they're going to do the dropping it on YouTube for the entire series. I think they're going to do just for a couple of episodes. But I mean, that's just a guess. All right, what's next?
From Andy again, if Sam Raimi does Spider-Man 4, I'd be so disappointed if he doesn't play a Nickelback song at the end of the movie like he did with Spider-Man 2002.
I think it's safe to say that we all agree that most movies should end with a Nickelback song. I think
specifically that one.
Every movie should end with that song. That's the one. All right, what's next?
From Big D Studios Entertainment again. Hey, John and crew, have you seen the clip from The Northman? Talk about a tense. It's going to be a fun massacre. Alexander Skarsgård is going to kill it. Pun intended.
I'll tell you what. No, I have not watched the clip. I don't know the clip you're talking about, so I haven't seen it. This movie has been my number 2 most anticipated movie of the year since CinemaCon 8 months ago. I cannot believe how excited I am. And so it was with a little bit of anxiousness and a little bit of trepidation that I opened up the first reactions to it. Because, man, I want this to be so good.
Yeah.
And the reviews coming out were everything I wanted to hear. Blood-soaked, nonstop, high intensity, incredible energy, blah, blah. Skarsgård's a beast. Nicole Kidman isn't saying heartbreak feels good. I swear to God. If she gets like her hand cut off or someone says, somehow hand severing feels good in a place like this, I mean, I will scream. I will literally scream in the theater. But no, everything about this looks so good. I haven't watched that clip yet. I'm going to avoid it. I will obviously cover any new trailer, but I'm so excited for The Northman, guys. I'm so excited for this movie. All right, what's next?
So apparently Halo has 9 episodes. It was originally 10, but they lowered it to 9. They signed for a 10 episode order.
They said I do 9 episodes.
Yeah, but each episode is a full hour. I mean,
yeah, like it. All right, I'll take it. What's next?
All right, from Jerome, what is the difference between retconning and just adding new information about a character or universe history?
That's the thing. It's completely different. Retconning specifically. So Rob and I got into a little bit of a debate yesterday. Retconning basically means going back and contradicting established information in canon. Adding new information is not retconning unless that new information directly contradicts information that's been a part of the canon. So the debate Rob and I got into was Rob saying that in Star Trek Discovery, you find out Spock has an adopted sister, right? He says that retcons everything we've known about Spock before, to which I asked, did the original Star Trek ever say that Spock had no siblings? And he said, no. Well, I said, well, that's not retconning then. And I followed it up by saying, Do you think Spock had grandparents? Yes. They never mentioned Spock's grandparents. So, I mean, yeah, there's a complete difference. Adding new information is completely fine. Where you get into trouble sometimes is when you do directly retcon, when you introduce new things that are a contradiction to things that they've always said are established canon, and that's when it gets a little bit problematic. But yeah, just adding new information is not retconning. All right, what's next?
All right, from Dad Jokes. John, I don't think this has been mentioned yet, but people describe the story of Eternals where Icarus betrayed his family and lover. But actually, they betrayed him and the mission. Thoughts?
It's an interesting way of looking at it, but here's the thing. They were all on a mission on something that they thought was their mission. And they all found out they were lied to. Icarus found out what the actual mission was and never told his family about it, and then worked against them in the process. So, if all the Eternals knew the whole time that Arashem's plan was to birth, and I forget the name of the name of the celestial that they were birthing on Earth. I don't know that but he's the sleeping celestial. I forgot his actual name. But Ray. If they knew that,
but, it has to be Ray.
The sleeping celestial, Ray. Tiamat, thank you guys in the live chat. Jordan Tanner, Bishop, Bird Hop, Robert Vos, Tiamat, thank you so much. So if all the Eternals knew the whole time that was the mission, and then just changed their minds, then yeah, they kind of betrayed Icarus. But that's not the case. They all thought this was their mission, was to protect and bring this world life and all that kind of stuff. Then one finds out about it, doesn't tell the other ones, and then works to thwart what they're trying to do. Then yeah, I would say that the description that Icarus betrayed them is probably the more accurate description. That would be my take on it. Good question though, man. All right, what's next?
All right, from Tim. I think I know the secret to Paul Rudd not aging. He made a secret blood pact with the producers of Mac and Me. Look it up.
Oh my God, yeah, he's done that thing with Conan. Yeah. He did that thing with Conan a number of times. But I swear to God, Paul Rudd does not look much different today than he did in Clueless.
No, not at all.
Like,
he's the same man. It's exactly the same. I have aged more, and I have not been alive as long as him.
No, it's crazy. I have aged a lot since freaking, what's the name of the movie that I just commented
Clueless?
Again?
Clueless.
Clueless. Yeah, I've aged a lot since Clueless. And hold on a second. Let me see if I can bring this up here. Where's my I don't know where my stuff is, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'll try to find it later. But
get Rob on that.
Get Rob on that. Rob, what do you think? I'm just going to see if I can find this image. But I mean, Paul Rudd, when I interviewed Paul Rudd for a movie he did a few years ago called Our Idiot Brother.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really a nice little film. I liked it a lot. But during the interview, I said to him, I said, here's the thing, Paul. I said, I feel like I mentioned a Major League Baseball player who was just retiring, who actually had Hall of Fame numbers, but nobody really thought a lot about him in that term. And I said to Paul Rudd, I said, you know what, Paul, here's the thing. I think you have very quietly, like this baseball player, I think you have quietly gone about like having one of the all-time great comedic movie careers. Like just one of the best ever. Because when you look at movies that he's done, like these classics that so many people like Clueless and things like that, but then you also look at 40-Year-Old Virgin or Anchorman or whatever, Parks and Rec, on and on and on. This is a guy who's just able to have a career and do his career and make these movies that everybody loves and that people adore him for and think he's wonderful and all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people still just think of Paul Rudd as this secondary guy. So I want to bring up a couple of pictures here. Let me bring up, this is from a couple of years ago. Let me bring up this one. So we got Paul Rudd right here, right? Let me see if I can pull up this other one. Paul Rudd, Clueless. Okay, so there's Paul Rudd a couple of years ago, me with Paul, right? Here's the problem. Oh, this is a better picture for it too. What year did Clueless come out?
Oh,
Can somebody look that up for me?
I think. Let me double check.
What year did Clueless come
I
out?
thought it was 93.
95.
Oh, wow.
95. So that was 27 years ago. Okay? 27 years ago that he was in Clueless. Okay. Here's a picture. There's a picture of him with me just a couple years ago. This is a picture from 27 years ago. 27.
He just grew facial hair.
It honestly looks like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now imagine stubble on that face. Imagine real legit stubble on that face. That is not a man who has aged 27 years.
No.
This guy goes into the forest at night, finds unicorns, slits their throats, and rolls around naked in their blood. That's what Paul Rudd does. There's
And you
no
know
other
what?
explanation.
We're all better off for it.
Because again, it's like he's aged. Yeah, clearly that's not the yesterday. Clearly, but that's not 27 years difference. That is not 27 years difference. It is spooky. It is absolutely spooky to me.
Proof that aliens exist, baby.
Aliens exist. All right, what do we got next?
All right, from Casey Mack. Hey, John and crew, I really hope you all enjoy Sonic 2 because I know I did. I saw it last night, and I gotta say, if you're a Sonic fan, you won't be disappointed.
Well, I know. Well, again, we're going to have Chris's out of the theater reaction up a little bit later when Ray and I go to see it and Ann go to see it. We're going to see it at 3:00 today. We're going to put that together. But sufficient to say you enjoyed yourself.
I had so much fun. We also, because it was a sneak peek, there was only one theater you could see it in, so we saw it in the 40X at the Regal, which usually wouldn't be my thing. It made it so fun. It was ridiculous. And I mean, y'all know how Logan can be too. So he was just having the time of his life, just losing it. Where he's like, this is great. I feel the sensation of running. I feel wind on my face. I'm so happy.
Does it really do that?
Yeah.
Does it really do that?
It's so great. It's
I
really,
gotta
really fun.
try that.
It makes it
That
awesome.
will keep
And
me awake.
On top of everything too, they gave us posters and comic books. So I was real happy
Oh,
about
very
it.
cool.
It was
I got a
great.
wand.
I mean, that is cooler.
Comic book would
I
be
already
pretty
have
cool,
a
though.
wand,
I'm
so.
sure you probably got several, actually. All right, what's next?
All right, from Manny Garcia. Top Gun for the first time. Saw Top Gun for the first time the other day and loved it. Now super excited for the new film after watching the trailer again.
I mean, look, I think, I don't know this for a fact, but I think we are seeing Top Gun in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, because I think they're going to show us the entirety of Top Gun at CinemaCon in a couple of weeks, because the Paramount presentation is scheduled for 3 hours. None of the studio presentations are that long.
Yeah.
So that means they're going to do a presentation for about a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, and then they're going to go, now kick back. We're going to show you Top Gun. I swear, because they showed us 3 surprise screenings last year. And I think we're going to get to see in 2.5 weeks, I think they're going to show us Doctor Strange. I think Disney's going to show us Doctor Strange. I think Paramount is going to show us Top Gun, and I don't know what the third one will be, because I know there's 3 this year as well, but I hope that's one of them. All right, what's next?
All right, from Fifi. Finally watched Scott Pilgrim for the first time.
Love it.
Dang, it was good. I know I'm 12 years late to the party, but what do you guys think of the movie?
I love that movie.
So good.
What were your when you look back at Scott Pilgrim? What do you think about?
Oh man, I just wanted to be Ramona Flowers. I just thought that movie was awesome. I loved how it was such an excellent comic book adaptation that I think people kind of overlook that aspect of it, but it's done so well. Not only is it a love letter to the original comics, but to video games. Everyone in that cast is great. I remember just thinking Chris Evans was so friggin' funny. I love that movie.
Ray, did you ever see it?
Yeah, I did, but I never rewatched it, so I totally forgot everything about it, other than I did like the visual style that the director chose. It popped.
And Edgar Wright. Edgar
Yeah.
Wright was the director of that movie. And I want to point this out. This was actually the day they debuted, before Scott Pilgrim versus the World opened. They debuted it at CinemaCon. And so they debuted at CinemaCon, and then they were our guests at our Masters of the Web panel
Oh, fun.
that night. So we did this big thing where we threw a party, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World was at Master of the Web. And I presented that night. This was a great night for me, because I presented that night our inaugural, this was when I was with AMC, and our Masters of the Web panel was the AMC Masters of the Web. We presented our first AMC Film Fanatics Award to 2 people that night. One was to Stan Lee. So I got to present a trophy to Stan Lee, which was amazing. The other one was for Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's me and Edgar Wright. Again, and we're there celebrating Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Now, same night, you guys have seen this picture before, I think. Same night, Where did it go? I dropped it somewhere. Oh, there he is. Same night, you know what? I lost the picture.
Oh.
The build-up, John. The build-up.
I think I've shown this picture before, but it was at the same night. It was me with, and I've lost it. Oh no, there it is. Let me bring it up here. Hold a second. Let me bring it up here. You got to understand, I am a big fan of Brandon Routh. I think Brandon Routh was great.
Love him.
I may have shown this picture before, but this is the same night of that party celebrating Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And at the party, Brandon Routh and I were standing around talking. And somebody sent this to me a while ago because they stumbled across this picture. And the caption on it was, John, why does it look like you're giving Brandon Routh instructions on how to give a blowjob? And to which I looked at the picture and I went, dear God, you're right. It looks like I'm trying to teach Brandon Routh how to give a blowjob. But that was the same night of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So
when you got a skill, you got to share it.
You can't keep the glory to yourself. You gotta share it.
Gotta let people know.
Share it. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World is so great. I love that movie. All right. Masterclass. John Campea.
John Campea's Masterclass. One of our great sponsors.
And that'll be the thumbnail too. That'll be the thumbnail on the Masterclass. All right, what's next?
Mike Joyce, Master Cheeks.
Okay, now I know what to expect from this show tonight when I watch
I
it.
love that. That is hysterical.
All right, what's next?
NC sending in almost $20 super chat.
Thank you, NC.
John, I know you're a huge advocate for the theater experience, but the lighting and sound choices some of these directors are taking, I'm going to need them to add subtitles and turn the brightness way up. Love this show.
By the way, NC, I'm going to add one other thing. You mentioned subtitles. One of the other complaints that I had about Ambulance was, and I can't remember if I said this when we talked about it yesterday or not, but at least 20% of the dialogue I didn't understand. The sound mix in that movie was so bad.
Oh.
It was so bad that at least 20% of the dialogue I didn't hear. It was like I was watching a Christopher Nolan film. And so it's like, something would happen. Aaron would turn to me and goes, what did you just say? I'm like, I honestly have no idea. I have no idea what they just said. Terrible, terrible sound mix. And you're right, NC. There has been, and I've been seeing some articles on this in cinematography websites and whatever, that there has been a trend in television and in movies, but more often in television, where the picture is getting darker and darker. Like a lot of cinematographers now are opting for color grading dark. Like everything is like dark. And even in daytime shots, it's dark. And I don't understand. Look, I'm not talking about Zack Snyder decided to use a more muted color palette than, I'm not talking about that. And I'm not saying everything needs to be bright poppy colors, but I have noticed in a lot of TV shows, especially, but also movies, everything getting they're going for these darker images. And I'm not a fan, personally. Have you noticed that too, Chris?
A little bit, but I mean, most of the things I watch are bright and happy. So it's things like Severance. There are certain times every now and then where I'm like, I don't know if I need it to be like this in the basement, but it does make sense for creating that mood. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it when there's certain movies that want to create a mood, but just everything just seems dreary and dark now. Like even in shows that I don't think call for that. Oh, well. Anyway, thanks for sending that in, NC, and I totally relate with you there. All right, what's next?
From Remember Bulldog, Wanda being a villain makes so much sense because she has great motivation, and a lot of fans love Wanda, so they'll be on her side. Also, I think she will destroy the Illuminati.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The great villains are the ones that come out of a story of tragedy of something that they lose and something that they lost. Just look at Mr. Freeze. We've talked about Mr. Freeze a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what more noble thing is there than to want to save his wife, than to want to save the woman he loves? There is no more noble motivation than that. But it drives him to doing something horrible. If you look at the operative in Serenity, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think one of the great villains in cinematic history.
He's wonderful.
But he's motivated by, even though he knows it's forcing him to do evil things, he's motivated by what he considers to be a higher purpose and a higher call. So the whole idea about Wanda gets motivated because she's just desperately to get these pretend children back. I mean, I get that. So it would be an absolutely great motivation.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, listen, before we finish off with the remainder of your questions, we got one more sponsor we want to thank here today for this episode of the John Campea Show, the good folks at Stamps.com. Guys, we want to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of this video, Stamps.com. You know, they call what I and what a lot of you guys do small business, but to us, it doesn't seem small. It's the world to us. And you can't afford to miss out on opportunities to grow and keep your customers wanting more. Because time is money. Don't waste either with repeated trips to the post office. With Stamps.com, you can skip the trip and focus on how to take your business to the next level. Stamps.com lets you print official postage right from your computer and saves you money in the process. So you can spend less time at the post office and more time making your customers happy. Stamps.com gives you access to all of the post office and UPS shipping services that you need right from your computer. And get discounts you can't find anywhere else, like up to 40% off USPS rates and 76% off UPS. So stop overpaying for shipping with Stamps.com. Sign up with the promo code CAMPEA for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com and click on the microphone at the top of the page and enter the code CAMPEA. And thank you to the folks at Stamps.com for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, let's finish off here now. What do we got remaining in the live chats?
All right, from Edgar Ramos. Hey, John and crew, came to apologize to you all. I missed your live show yesterday because of my addiction to Lego Star Wars. Amazing. I'm back though.
You can ask Ray. I've been throwing on a lot of videos on YouTube about people talking about that. I'm going to get that game.
Yeah.
It looks pretty fun. The little things I've seen it look pretty funny. So all is forgiven, Edgar, if you will forgive me for missing tomorrow's show because I'll be playing. But I think tonight I'm going to go because it's available now, right?
I think so, yeah.
I'm definitely going to get it tonight and give it a shot. I've been tempted enough. I'm going to definitely get it. I hope you enjoyed it, man. All right, what's next?
From Elizabeth Hirado. So yesterday was a whirlwind trying to get Doctor Strange 2 tickets. Adam and Fandango wouldn't take A-List.
Yeah.
The AMC A-List wouldn't process my order. AMC wasn't fixed until 2 p.m., but thank God I got tickets.
That was the part of the big conspiracy theory. That AMC was purposefully trying to make it so A-list members could not use their A-list. Because Fandango was able to execute ticket purchases for AMC, just not your A-list. Adam was able to execute ticket purchases, just not for A-list. And that seems fishy. Although I choose to believe and give them the benefit of the doubt that it was just a technical error. But anyway, Elizabeth, do me a favor, if you're still around, just throw into the live chat there if you were able to. I'm going to assume you were able to use your A-list finally, eventually. Can you throw into the live chat that you were? Because it's something about that whole situation still smells pretty fishy to me. All right, what's next?
From Mr. Hank Dunn. Have you ever had to turn off a movie because you related to it too much? I watched Adaptation last night, and Cage's character was too much like me. Ooh.
No, I really haven't. I've never, usually when I'm able to relate to something, even in a horrible way, I like to watch it. I like to see, what does this fictitious person dealing with the same kind of situation I am, what is one way that it could have been dealt with or handled or responded to or stuff like that. So I actually find it gets me more into it even when it's uncomfortable. So I haven't. What about you guys? Have you turned off something because you related to it too much?
I'm pretty weird. There's no one that's really like me. I don't know.
Sleeping Beauty. That's it. Turn off.
I haven't had really any personally for me. I know when we watched Welcome to Marwen for the first time.
Oh, that was actually pretty moving, that movie.
It was a very moving film. And viewers, y'all might not know this. Logan, our first year of marriage, our first Christmas together, he got very, very violently mugged on the street. And there were about 4 other people in our neighborhood who got mugged by the same people. It was very, very violent. We're very, very lucky he's alive. But we turned that film on, and showing that post-bar scene, that attack, just really, really got him. And that was one of those things of like, okay, we need to bench this movie for a little bit. And then we were able to come back to it. And then he was able to appreciate what a beautiful film it was. But it's also really telling when a movie can accurately convey that thing you went through. And it's a testament to that kind of storytelling.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that with Logan before. That was awful.
And he just makes great jokes about it now. which I love and appreciate about him.
All right, what's next?
Blue Jay, don't know if it'll happen or not, but I'm totally down with seeing a Spider-Man 4 film.
Hey, listen, Ray was saying maybe we should put up a poll for that question. And I said, I don't need to put up a poll because I know our viewers would love to see that. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you. If they put out tomorrow a Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 4, would I be there? Of course I would be there. Absolutely. It doesn't change the fact that it's not a good idea. And that its time has passed. But I am with you. I would be there. Sure, I would. Completely. I totally get what you're talking about. All right, what's next?
From Alex Holt. Hey, John, if a studio came to you to make a Hollywood film about a UFC fighter, who would you choose? Mine would be Thug Rose.
Hey, Rose is all sorts of badass. She's all sorts of badass. But you know what I'm going to say. It's GSP. It's Georges St. Pierre. One of the greatest of all times. I mean, he's still the gold standard of what a true, mixed martial artist is. Coming from Canada, working his way up, his legendary rivalries that got him to the point, his epic fights with BJ Penn. And I mean, going out a champion, retiring as champion, disappearing for years, coming out of retirement to fight the middleweight champion, a higher weight class, fight the current reigning middleweight champion and stop him and win the middleweight title, retire again. I mean, I would make it personally Georges St. Pierre or the current baddest man on the planet, Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Eagle. I mean, his story would be epic. His father made him wrestle bears.
Yeah.
When he was a child. Their videos, like as a child, his father made him wrestle bears. I mean, that's just tough as nails, these dudes. So
I feel like that's very irresponsible parenting.
It's not terribly responsible.
Oh my gosh.
All right, what's next?
From Ben Rayner, sending in a $20 super chat.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
Personally, I don't want Grant in the movie, but I think there's a clear answer. Have Barry enter the Speed Force, go missing, and have Wally West brought in as the new Flash. Barry gets back, recast. Thoughts?
There's an easier answer. Just put in a new actor. That's the easiest answer.
We accepted it with Batman.
We accept it with Batman. We accept it with Dumbledore. We accept it with James Bond. We accept it with... just swap out the actor. Because I feel like sometimes we as film fans think swapping the actor, as soon as the actor comes on stage, all film fans are so mentally incompetent that our brains are going to explode. I don't understand. That's not what he looked. We can adjust. We will adapt. Yeah. We get it. So there's no need to create some kind of story arc just because you swap the actor. There's no need to do it at all. Just swap the actor.
If you can suspend your disbelief to believe in the properties of the Speed Force,
yes,
you can suspend your disbelief and go, yep, that's still the Flash.
Yep. All right. What's next?
All right, from Crisscross Applesauce. Sonic 2 is a lot of fun, just a tad bit too long, and some CGI that doesn't look all too good. But it's still charming, fun, and sweet, and Knuckles is one of the best parts of the film. Hashtag ... Oh, that's a great part.
I assume I'd have to have seen the movie to understand that reference. Actually, that is the one question I wanted. How did Knuckles work?
So Knuckles is great. I will say, I feel like towards the third act, we get some really, really great delivery from Idris Elba. The beginning of it, but that also has to do with Knuckles' character. Knuckles is a warrior, so very, very dry, very, very curt. But Knuckles is done really, really well, has a clear mission. You understand why they're doing the things they're doing. And it's really, really great to see him there. I love seeing the dynamic of these three characters. It's really, really wonderful.
All right, what's next?
All right, now we have Jack and Chapman. The tip link in the description is bringing me to an error page. Does it need to be updated to the Stream Elements link? Thanks.
Where are we? Oh, that was...
Oh, whoops. I skipped one, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I think it was Fredo.
Yeah.
The description.
Yeah? Are you going to check out the tip link thingy?
Yeah, I'll have to double check that.
Thanks, Ray. From Fredo, yo, John, you ready for UFC 273? Who you got, Kazmat or Burns? You think Kazmat can beat Usman and move up to the fight Izzy?
Okay, yeah, listen, Chim Chim, I refer to him as Chim. Chim Chim is one of the baddest men on the planet right now. He's awesome, and I do think he beats Gilbert Burns. And Gilbert Burns is a badass. Make no mistake about it. Now that Khabib Nurmagomedov is retired, Kamaru Usman is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. I mean, it was the Eagle, but now that he's retired, it's Usman. I don't think right now he's beatable. So no, I don't think he beats him. So therefore, without beating him, I don't think he can move up and beat Izzy. So he's great. He's going to beat Burns, but I don't think he can beat Usman.
I just clicked on both links, and both of them seem to be taking me to the correct page.
So everything seems to be working?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to double check that. All right. Now what's next?
All right, now we're up to Tyler Pfeiffer then. How amazing is it that Tiger Woods is playing the Masters this weekend? Just an unbelievable athlete and competitor.
Like, I remember, like, people since 2016 were saying he was done. And then he, was 2019? He just came, like, out of nowhere, comes out of nowhere, wins the Masters again. Then he has this, like, all the reconstructive surgery and all that kind of stuff. It'll be neat to see how he does. He's not going to win.
And that accident, right?
Yeah, from the accident.
Yeah.
He ain't going to win. He ain't going to win the Masters this year. But just the fact that he's competing is pretty amazing. Definitely the greatest golfer of our era. All right, what's next?
David Smart sitting in support.
Thank you, David.
Jerome, ever seen the Heroic Trio?
I have no idea what that is. Ray? Anybody? Nope. Sorry, Jerome. Nope. All right, what's next?
Mike Joyce, I don't care about Madrigal, Ray. I hope it gets glassed.
Yeah, me too.
What are we talking about?
We don't need to go to back to that place. Halo.
Oh, a Halo thing. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I had no idea what we were talking about.
It's the initial, and from the first episode, where the battle takes place. That's Madrigal.
That's where they call. Okay, I gotta get caught up in episode 3, so
I
I
went
will.
straight to Encanto. And I was like, why do you not care about that family?
Why do you not want to go back to Madrigal?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll have to watch Halo episode 3 tonight. All right, what's next?
All right. From remember Bulldog again. Don't get the hate for Jared Leto. He wasn't the reason Morbius wasn't good. He's a good actor.
Well, I mean, look, different people have different opinions about certain actors, including Jared Leto, for a myriad of different reasons, right?
Well, and I'm somebody who did not like Morbius at all. And on the show, I said, that's not Jared Leto's fault.
No.
He gave one of his best performances at the beginning of this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't get it either. I mean, the guy's an Academy Award-winning actor. I think he's terrific. God, I loved him in, oh God, why am I freezing the name of the movie now?
Fight Club, Dallas Buyers.
Well, I mean, obviously Dallas Buyers won his Academy Award for that, and now I'm freezing on this movie. Oh my God. Anyway, let's just move on. Yes, I agree with you. Remember, don't understand it. All right, what's next?
Someone pointed out that the Heroic Trio is a Michelle Yeoh film. So, but yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, that sounds
This is
great.
a Michelle Yeoh movie?
Yeah, Yeoh, excuse me. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Look into it.
I'm not familiar with it. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Hirado, Chris, I'm seeing Coda in a movie theater this weekend. So
Woo!
excited. Oh, you're so lucky. I watched it on Apple TV when it first dropped. I would love to see that on a big screen. That's going to be fantastic.
By the way, but I don't know why I've frozen this, because it's the Nick Cage movie, Lord of War.
Oh, yeah. I always forget he's in that.
Yep, Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Lord of War is really
great
good.
film.
Yeah, I really like that movie. All right, what's next?
All right. Then we go to Joey Vats. Hey, gang. Have been a big fan since before Infinity War and a daily watcher.
Thank you, man.
Do you think that the critics got 4 episodes because of a Doctor Strange connect?
I mean, look, there could be a couple things. Critics getting part of a season is not terribly uncommon. All right, that's not terribly uncommon. Them giving them 4, like 2/3 of the season without the final 2. I mean, it could be to hide something completely bonkers.
Yeah.
It also could just be they don't want the conclusion of the story to be leaked out. But it could be something very big, like a connection to it. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think, you have to look this up for me. I think the final episode of Moon Knight is like a day or 2 before Doctor Strange comes out.
Okay.
So there could be, but honestly, what possible connection could there be between Moon Knight and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to guess that there's no connection between this and Doctor Strange. It just, that doesn't seem to be any connection there whatsoever. But I do think it's going to be something bonkers that happens.
May 4th is when it
Final episode?
the final episode. So.
And that's
And then we all go see it the next day.
And then Thursday, May 5th is when the first screenings are. We're seeing it the next day. So there could be something to that timing, but really, I don't see what possible thing that could be.
Khonshu's part of the Illuminati.
Yeah, Khonshu's on the Illuminati thing. He's the one who brings Charles Xavier in. But I do believe something completely bonkers happens. Maybe with something that directly connects to something else in the MCU, maybe a big cameo, maybe not, but something big is going to happen in those 2 episodes. I just don't think it's going to be a direct tie to Doctor Strange.
And can we all say that Moon Knight belongs on the big screen too now?
I feel like it.
Yeah.
I do feel
It's
I feel
This
like
character
this
needs
should
to
be
be
a movie.
there.
I feel like this should have been a movie. All right, what's next?
All right, from Joey Vats. Hey, no, that's the one we just did. John D. Sup? Most thought-provoking film you've seen?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I
The
I'd have
long
to think
silence
about
bodes
that.
well.
I mean, it also. What do you mean by
Ooh.
thought-provoking?
Yeah.
Like it all depends on your
I-
definitions.
After it's talking about had me thinking about whatever it was afterwards for a while. I remember watching that arcade movie where the 2 guys, Billy Mitchell, that King of Kong.
King of Kong.
I for some reason that was in my head for like a little while after I watched it. It was just so crazy to
Fistful
me.
of quarters. I guess, I mean, I'm sure this, if I had more time to think of an answer, I would probably come up with something
Yeah,
different.
me
Yeah.
too.
But one that comes off the top of my head is Clint Eastwood's $1 Million Baby. Because the ending of that, you have his character faced with the notion of helping a girl he loves dearly to commit suicide. That makes you think, and the movie doesn't, like, I already know what my position on that is, but it does a beautiful job in that movie of setting up this dilemma that he faces, and that made me think. It made me think a lot.
I'll top yours. Every Clint Eastwood movie I have seen has done that. I mean, he's
And even go to like the greatest Western of all time, Unforgiven, where it's like, should he continue to live by his dead wife's wishes, or should he take up the gun again and do, like, I mean, so a lot of Clint Eastwood does that, but $1 Million Baby is the one for me. Do you have one, Chris, that jumps out to you?
I'm trying to think of one. I know the first time I saw Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, there was a lot of like, would I remove my memories? Would I remove painful things from my life? Which is probably one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to Severance.
Severance, yeah.
But yeah, I'd have to think on that.
I got one more.
What's that?
Blackfish. That one stayed in my head for a long
Yes.
time with the SeaWorld thing. That
Yep.
one was,
Yeah.
but most of mine are all documentaries.
I was gonna
which
say,
is
well,
fun.
like,
Well, that's what
Evil
documentaries
Genius
should
messed
do.
me up. Evil
Yeah.
Genius was terrifying.
Oh, Evil Genius.
I was
too.
sobbing at home.
All right,
Ugh.
what's next?
From Kylo Ken, Ray Mackie is quite the badass. Loved her entrance. Did I say her
I don't know
name
what
right?
we're talking about.
Mackie,
Is that a
MKEE?
Halo character?
MKEE. I don't know who that is. I'll get
All right,
back to that
Okay,
one.
what's next?
From Jordan Ellis, Spider-Man 4, I'm so down, LOL. I loved those movies, and seeing Tobey again brought me back to my childhood.
I can't disagree with any of that. I don't know that we've already got a Spider-Man right now. That was 2 generations ago. Okay, Ray.
Okay,
A moment of
I'm
realization.
sorry. I didn't know her name, but yes, I know what you're talking about. And yes, but I could have done without the slow-mo, but she does hit hard, like right away.
Is this a Halo reference?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
it's a
is.
Halo reference. All right. Okay, what's next?
All right, from Spencer Anthony, sending in an almost $20 super
Thank you,
chat.
Spencer.
Watching you guys is like hanging out with my best friends every day.
Oh, thank you, man.
John, Chris, Rob, and Ray, thank you for helping me smile real big every day. Tearing up a little bit writing this. Love you guys so
Aw.
much, Spencer.
Like, seriously, like, you know what's
Spencer?
funny? I was talking to Ann about this like last week. It's like somebody had come up to Ann and I coming out of the AMC Burbank 16 a few weeks ago, and they introduced themselves, and obviously I didn't recognize them, but as soon as they said their name, I'm like, dude, you've been on my channel forever. Like, it is weird to think about how, like, sometimes I see names pop up in our live chat and in the comments and things like that, and I realize this person has been conversing with me for 6 years, 8 years, 4 years, like whatever. And you realize, like, yeah, this person's been like a part of my life in an indirect way for a long time. And then, Anne brought up, like, is that weird for you knowing that you've been a part of their lives for that long? I'm like, I hadn't really thought of it that way. So, like, seriously, Spencer, thank you so much for that. And thank you for being here, part of my community. And thank you for giving me a purpose and a reason for doing all this. So thank you, man. And I'm just getting a little bit choked up reading your words. So thank you for that, man, very much. All right, what's next?
From Big D Studios Entertainment again. That trailer for season 4 of Ozark, oh my God. Check it out if you haven't already. Fire.
Probably would mean nothing to me because I don't watch Ozark.
We need Rob on here. He always talks about that show. That's
maybe like every time, but maybe we should watch Ozark. Maybe we should do a rewatch of it at some point.
My friend, a different Aaron, is on that show for an episode. I'm awful. I have all these friends on shows like Better Call Saul and Ozark, and I'm like, I bet you were great on it.
I bet you were wonderful.
Such a jerk.
Our Erin is different. She never tells me shit that she's on.
No, it just happens.
I have to find out about it because I'm watching something. Like I remember when I was watching, what's the Room movie? Disaster Artist. Ann and I go to watch the Disaster Artist. Like, It's like, why Erin's suddenly on screen? Yeah. And Erin's in this big scene with her, Judd Apatow, James Franco. I'm like, so we get out of the movie, like, call her, like, how are you? How did I not know you're in this? And then I'm watching one of my favorite shows, Blacklist. And look, the main guest star this week is Erin Cummings. Like, how did you not tell me? The only time she's only told me twice. She's told me about when she was on Flash, because she knows I'm a huge fan of Flash. So when she was on Flash, she let me know about that. And then she knows I'm a big fan of Nathan Fillion's show, The Rookie.
Yeah.
So when she was on The Rookie a few weeks ago, she did tell me about that in advance. But half the time, I have no idea what she's in.
King Richard, she gave me a heads up, where she was like, you can't tell
King
anyone.
Richard, I did know. I knew about King Richard as well. I'll give it that. All right, what's next?
All right, from Roxy Chick 06. I just wanted to send y'all some love and to thank y'all for being an absolutely amazing part of most of our days. By the way, love Chris Carr.
Thank you, Roxy. Thanks. Well, you can speak for yourself.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, really, speak for yourself, man.
No, thank you so much, Roxy, for being here and being part of our day. And you're right, Chris Carr does rock. We're so glad that she's here.
Direct quote from John Campea was that I was a ray of fucking sunshine.
Did I say that? Was that me?
It was,
or was it the variant?
That was your mouth, baby.
It might have been last week. It was when we were having the rough start to our day, and you didn't have any shit to talk about me.
Yeah, wow.
You something to say about
You'll
Chris,
never live that down.
Damn sunshine. All right, I remember that now. All right, what's next?
All right, from Fifi. Happy Sonic 2 game day.
It is Sonic 2 game day today. Yay. I'm excited about going. We're going to see that in 3 hours, right?
Oh, great for me, baby. We're just gonna ride into the movie theater.
By the way, so Ann told me this morning, get a ticket for Ray. I'm like, does Ray want to come? She says, I don't know. Just get a ticket for Ray. He's going to be. I'm like, okay. So I see you are as whipped as I am. What Ann says goes. All right. So I think that's just a reality.
Yeah.
That anybody in our circle travels in, whatever Ann wants you get. But I had to tell her. Said, all right. I got on and I looked, but there's the seat right beside us is taken. He'll have to be separated by somebody from there's us two, me and Ann, and then a taken seat. And then Ray's gonna have to get on that side. I don't know. She just get it for him. All right. So you're gonna have to sit one seat removed from us.
That's
fine.
What?
I'll let you and Ann sit together.
No,
it's
fine. But it's just like from 7 a.m. then all this show and then the segments riding straight into Sonic. I'm gonna be so awake for this movie. It's gonna be great.
You guys don't know. Ray actually starts his day at 7. He starts working at 7. Every day. So yeah, the fact that he's still awake by the end of these shows is kind of amazing to me. All right, what's next?
From 1253 Sir 3. Hi, John and crew. Inspired by you talking about Robert Eggers, I decided to watch The Witch and the Lighthouse. I loved them and will watch The Norseman.
I remember when I saw The Witch, it's one of those movies I walked out of the theater and just stood there for a minute. It's like, that was like an incredible freaking experience. Again, we talk about the Black Phillip scene, just out of nowhere, off screen, you just hear a voice coming out. What dost thou want? I'm like, okay, I am officially freaked out. What dost thou offer? I mean, that movie is a mind freak, right? And I was so surprised when I read that a lot of people I know who are like hardcore horror people didn't like The Witch. I'm like, really? That movie's amazing. Now, then The Lighthouse comes. Absolute artistic masterpiece. I still don't know what the F I watched in that movie, though.
No.
I walked out going, I have so many conflicting thoughts. I have no idea what I just experienced. But I can say this, I don't know that another filmmaker could have made that movie the way Eggers did. But Northman looks so good to me. And all the reactions are so great. So I am with you, 1, 2, 5, 3. I cannot wait.
Wait a second. It just hit me. Someone actually picked a seat that had or not a seat away from a occupied seat.
Yep.
They wanted to sit right next to some strangers.
I know. Yep. I just don't know. Well,
No,
you know what?
Weird.
You should have bought me a Morbius ticket.
Morbius.
Yeah.
You know, I
Morbius.
need to see that movie. So,
All right, what's next?
From Jonathan Santiago, which do you think is a better movie, Joker or The Batman, and why?
They're two very different films going for two very different things. I'll go for me, Batman. For me, Batman. I mean, I can't go into why. They're two very different films. I'm not going to say one makes one better than the other. They're both magnificent, but I'm going to lead Batman. What about you?
Easy, the Batman.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the Joker.
Oh,
That does make it easy. What about you, Chris?
The Batman, I never want to see the Joker again.
Oh,
I saw it once and I never need to see that film again.
Okay.
That's how I feel about that.
Well, there you go. Simple as that. All right, what's next?
From Awake Productions, I think Mark always had dissociative disorder. Steven has always been a personality in his head and that he's had to keep locked away. After dying, it broke down the barrier.
That's an interesting theory because we talked on the show yesterday on the open spoiler discussion from yesterday. My theory became this, is that Mark is the real guy. And when he made his deal with Khonshu, because remember, Khonshu says to him near the end of the episode, you told me you could control that guy. I think a part of his deal with Khonshu was creating a new identity for himself that would not remember his wife to protect his wife, that would have no connection to his life. Because remember, Steven says he lives in his mother's flat. Nothing in there looks like a mom lives there. Steven, we've seen several times, talking to an answering machine of his mother. We've never actually heard him speak to his mother.
Yeah.
I don't think his mother exists. I think Mark's mother exists.
That's creepy to me.
So
all
I-
that stuff is
So
creepy.
sad.
But I mean, Awake Productions, what you're suggesting there is also really interesting. So I'm sure we're going to find a lot more in episode 3.
Yeah.
I think we'll find a lot more in episode 3.
It's
All
just
right.
going to be heartbreaking.
Oh, it is. All right, what's next?
Wraith X7. I think they should replace Ezra Miller with Grant Gustin and tie into the TV series, but that might not be financially feasible.
You know, if they want anybody watching the movie, it's not really financially feasible. I mean, here's the thing. If anybody was interested in watching this Flash that's on CW right now, they could do it anytime they wanted, and they don't. Literally more than 5 times the amount of people that watch the Flash watch Chicago PD. Nobody watches Chicago PD except me. And literally 5 times more people watch that show than watch The Flash.
No.
Let me also wrap this around your head.
Mm-hmm.
This is wild. In March, we had a record-setting month for us here at the John Campea YouTube channel. We had 7.2 million views in March. That means, what, 1.3? 1.4? Let's say 1.5. No, it means, just under 2. So probably 1.8 million people, right? 3 times the amount of people watched the John Campea Show in any given week in March than watched The Flash.
Damn.
And we don't have a lot of people watching the John Campea Show. So if you take 1 week of views of the John Campea show, of the John Campea YouTube channel in March versus an episode that week of The Flash, triple the amount of people watched an episode of the John Campea Show YouTube channel. That's not good.
So if you're looking for star power,
Because we ain't one of the bigger YouTube channels either. We are not one of the bigger YouTube channels. So it's not, we're small compared to a lot. I got buddies who have triple my traffic. I mean, we are small.
Yeah.
And yet triple the amount of people watch us and watch The Flash in a week.
It's just wild.
It's just, it is what it is. And I say this as a guy who watched that show for a long time and really, really like it and really like Grant Gustin. Anyway, that's just me. All right, what's next?
All right, from Chris Snyder. All right, Campea crew, it's time for the age-old debate. Does pineapple go on pizza?
I would Will Smith you right now for even asking that question.
I do it.
No! I knew there was something wrong with you.
I'm a bad Italian.
I didn't know. I was going to say. Come on.
I
Well, then
know.
I don't drink wine. So, but I knew there had to be a flaw.
I know. I love it.
Oh.
I love it.
It's not my first choice, but if it's there, I'll eat it.
Yeah, but I can
with
say
a
that
lot of
just
everything
anything
else.
for you. If it's there, I'll eat it. That's disgusting. Look, I'm sorry. We got to make that a poll.
Oh, no.
So it's a
What's
Should
so
we
wrong
fire
with it?
Chris because she eats pineapple
on
pizza?
pizza?
I mean, it has to be with the Canadian, the ham or Canadian bacon. I can't If it's just pineapple,
Yeah, if it's just pineapple on there, no.
then that's a little weird to me.
Okay, I put it up. Let's put it to the people. Pineapple on pizza, yes or
Gonna
no?
vote in here.
There's only one right answer. No. I'm so disturbed right now.
I love it.
Oh my
And I
God!
also-
And
Where's this
52% of
poll?
people are saying yes.
Yeah, it's
What are
fine.
you talking about?
It's not the worst thing in the world.
I'm losing
man.
my faith in humanity here by the
my
minute.
God.
Here, guys.
It's awful. All right, let's keep going here. What's next?
All right. From Daniel, when determining whether or not a sequel is as good as the original, how much does the freshness of the original factor in?
None. I tend to try to have an approach to any movie I watch, judge it on its own merits. Like, yes, you can make comparisons to the previous installments or other things. That's fine. But at the end of the day, remove that and just judge the movie on its own merits. And so if I think a sequel is as good, worse than, or better than a thing, it's going to be totally independent on its own merits. Like when somebody asked us a little bit earlier, do I prefer the Batman or do I prefer Joker? Well, it's not in comparison to each other. It's just like my overall experience with the Batman was even a little bit bigger than the great one I had with Joker. But it's not to do with comparison or freshness of this. Not at all. What do you say about that? How do you compare them?
Well, I mean, when it comes to a remake, it just kind of, or a sequel, sorry, excuse me. It really is just about the story. It really comes down to that. Because like that's my thing with Sonic 2, right? Is I liked the first one more, and we'll talk more about that after you guys have seen it. But it just depends on how well the story is continuing to be executed. I don't think it needs to be a fresh take, and I don't think it needs to hit all the same notes as an original. I think it just needs to continue being of service to the story in the way it needs to be properly executed.
All right. What's next?
All right, from Mohammed, some support. Thank you so much.
And that'll
that's
do it. That's it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you guys so much for being here, making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the super chats. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. And number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And by the way, final count here on the poll, 53% say yes to pineapple on pizza. 47% said no. 53% of these people have not had the proper upbringing in life.
Connie's going to eat pineapple pizza with me. Thanks, Connie.
Pineapple on pizza. I don't get it. Then again, this coming from the guy who for a good 7 years ate peanut butter, and mayonnaise sandwiches. So maybe I am not the authority to speak on what is disgusting.
Yeah, you're definitely not.
And what is not.
That makes me throw up in my mouth when I think about it.
All forms is subjective.
It's just a taste. It's just taste. So maybe I shouldn't talk. All right, guys. I want to thank, of course, Mr. Ray Ora for being here. The ray of sunshine, Chris Carr. And of course, Robert Meyer.
Robert Meyer.
Constantly.
Wait. Okay.
Watch this. Rob, say something positive about the new Star Trek. All right. Anyway, guys, Rob will,
You know who has a hot toy of that positive Star Trek? This
You?
guy.
All right, guys. That'll do it for us for now. Thanks a lot for being here. Make sure you come back and join us for that later. Also, keep your guys' eyes open for our out of the theater reaction of Sonic. Chris already saw it. We're going to edit that with the one that me and Ray have a little bit later, so keep your guys' eyes open for that. And we're going to have an episode of Mailbag that goes up a little bit later tonight. Apologies that there wasn't one yesterday. Rob was supposed to do one yesterday, but his new puppy got sick, and they had to take the puppy. Yeah, they had to take the puppy to the vet. I think the puppy's okay. I think little puppy's fine. Little Sebastian is fine, I believe. But
okay.
Yeah, so Rob was all set to do an episode of Mailbag yesterday, but, sick puppy. Not much better of an excuse than that. So there will be an episode of Mailbag that goes up a little bit later today. And of course, make sure you guys come back and join us for the John Campea Show again tomorrow. And that'll do it for us, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. My name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.